might get time out. See, here's the good thing that I need you to know. At his age, the most important thing in his life is attention. It's the most important thing in his life. So attention becomes your reward and attention becomes your punishment. Punishment, time out, early bed. He not playing with his mom. He not playing with his sister. He not playing with his friend. When you, a 6-year-old, you can easily get that behavior under control by starving him of your attention and other people's attention too. That means grandma, aunt, uncle, starve him. I'm telling you, attention more important than food at that age. Okay. And then on the other hand, the rewards could also be attention. You know, let's go and do something together. That's a form of attention. Let's go for a walk. Let's go to the zoo. That's a form of attention. Most of the time, you want the rewards to be educational things, you know, fun, but educational. I think you need to lock down on your discipline. I don't think you're being as consistent as you need to be. And whenever I'm talking to mothers, moms are not consistent. Black, white, brown, I don't care. Mothers are not consistent, and you're going to have to get consistent with him to change that behavior, because right now he's having his way. But added to that, we got to get him in a relationship with his father. And if that's not possible, we got to get him in some sort of a program where he can get some of that mentorship energy, some of that father figure energy, martial arts. You know, it doesn't have to always be football and basketball.
Listen to the coaches. I tried it. I did martial arts, football, basketball, all of it. He's defiant to the coaches too, like, and there's nobody that's willing, even boxing. I haven't found no one that's willing to get stern with him and give him that fatherly figure to, you know, make him listen.
I got you. I also think, my sister, that you need somebody to talk to. I really feel, because you lost your mom, I believe you said, and my condolences to you for that. That's not easy at all, to lose a parent. Then you're raising 2 children on your own. You need some support, okay? And there's 2 persons in particular within the Parent Association, the National Independent Black Parent Association, I like to put you in contact with so they can give you some much needed support on this. But I want you to rethink that eval. I really do. Get him some counseling. He don't need no medicine. That's all they're going to push. I think you need a break yourself. You're going through a lot, grieving your mom. Grief is tough. Grief is tough. When you grieve, you got to go through the shock of it. You have to go through the denial of it, the bargaining of it. You know, it's tough. You're going through a lot, you know, and I just want you to know that the National Independent Black Parent Association is here for you. But definitely you can, the good news, we can work on this. He's only 6. We get him some counseling. You get more consistent with your discipline. If we can get his father back in his life, get him involved with some men on a consistent basis. Remember, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time. And what I'm detecting in you is you kind of gave up already. And I'm not faulting you. You know, there's a lot here. There's a lot you've been going through. The domestic abuse at the hands of his father. You've been through a lot. And I could feel your pain. I could feel it. You know, but we got to get you re-energized and faithful that you can change your son's behavior, because you can. But in order to help him, we got to help you first. In order to help your son, we have to make sure that you are happy and healthy and have the things that you need. So I want you to text me. Do you have my cell number?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you right now. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
It's 215 989 9858. 215 989 9858. Shoot me a text. I'm going to link you up with the 2 Parent Association chapter presidents that I have in mind. I'll be speaking in Trenton, New Jersey this Sunday. I'm going to text you that flyer if you're able to make it. But I want you to stay in touch with me. And whenever you get to a place where you just need to talk or you need some more advice, you'll be able to reach out to the 2 ladies up in your area. But you'll also be able to reach out to me directly. But don't give up on him. Because if you give up on him, that means the system going to take him. And he too young. He deserves better. But we have to help you, because this is not your fault. It's the community's fault. The black community doesn't do enough to support its single black mothers. The black community does not do enough to support is single black mothers. We blame you guys for everything, and we're never there to help you. The church ain't there. The Hotep brothers ain't there. The community-based organizations ain't there. The politicians ain't there. The business owners ain't there. Nobody's there for y'all. But I'm not going to give up. I'm here for you. And so please keep me posted. We'll get through this together. We will get through this together. I don't want you going to no more school meetings by yourself either. Don't go to no more meetings by yourself. You're a young mother, and they'll try to take advantage of you. But what were you going to say? What were you going to say?
Nothing. I'm saying okay.
Okay. But text me, though. Text me.
Okay.
And we got you.
Okay, I'm going to text you right now.
And we're going to work through this. I got you.
Thank you.
Okay, love.
Okay.
Take care.
Dr. Omar?
Yes, ma'am. Where you calling from? But you know what, sis? Hold on. I had my brother. You calling from where?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay, let me take the brother first, then I'm gonna come back to Jacksonville, Florida. My brother, where you calling from again?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hold on, sis. Hold on, sis. Hold on. We got somebody before you. Hold on 1 second. My brother from Milwaukee. Go right ahead. Milwaukee.
Yeah, what's going on, Dr. UMAR, man?
All is well.
My name is Jair Tatum.
All is well.
My name is Jair Tatum, man. I'm 20 years old. And I've been watching your videos since 2015. And with the special ed issues, man, I went through it. I was put in there at 3 years old. And psychologically, everything that you said on there, I went through psychologically, man. And everything that you said was true. The medicine, the psychological frustration. I went to Greenfield High School. We actually talked to my guy Devin a few weeks ago. He's from the same city that I'm from. We went through special ed education together, and there's so much that I got to tell you. So I know I probably can't tell you all in the teleconference. But,
that's all right, because check it out. This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna text me. Because I'm going to, and make sure you put documentary when you text me. I'm going to interview you for my documentary. I'm going to have you tell your story on film so we can use some of that for the shockumentary for black boys. So that's all right. So you're going to get a chance to tell me that story in person. So make sure you shoot me that text, and we're going to handle that.
What's your number, man?
It's 215-989-9858. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shoot me that text. Also, I'm looking for a venue in Milwaukee. So if you know of a spot that could hold about 400 that I can rent, let me know. We might be able to squeeze it in for Kwanzaa.
Okay, cool. And I got you on the things I'm going to be looking on this city for you, man.
Okay, will do. I appreciate it.
Man.
No doubt.
And my mom, she wants to talk to you real quick, man.
Sure. Go ahead. Where's she at? Queen Mother, you there?
Well,
Yes, ma'am. Talk to me.
yes, no. I'm sorry?
I said I'm listening. Talk to me.
Okay, so Dr. Umar, I don't know too much about you, but I am concerned. My son and what's been going on within our household, trying to get him to basically start working. And he feels that nothing out here is for him, which is not true. And that the only way that he can make it out is YouTube, that kind of thing. So that's what we're dealing with here. And he's wanting to talk to you regarding certain things or issues or whatever within his life, which we have, as a parent and uncles and aunts and ministers, have talked to him about. But he feels that he needs to speak to you. So my concern is what we told to him, and to be, upfront with him with what he needs to do and not what he wants to hear. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. I follow you. How old is he now?
He's 20.
He's 20 years old. This is what we're going to do. This is
20
what we.
years old.
Go ahead.
And he's been raised moral values and all of that, try to keep instilled in him. But somehow he's in my view that I know is off track. And his friend that he's with, I mean, you know, they both did special ed and stuff, and you know, the blame is special ed. But I know for myself some things that he needed assistance with. So I don't want him to make you think that it was just wrong totally.
I got you.
It's just whatever, you know, what you got to take out of things. And like I tell him, you graduated from school, thank God. But his flashback or back is, yeah, but it was a 1.9, but still graduated. So it's almost like not looking at the positive side. You done it. If you went through it, there may be a reason for it. Take it for what it is and keep moving forward. And he you know, wants to blame that whole thing on why he's not here, why he's not there. Like, everybody has failure. Failure sometimes is good for you. It's how you get up and keep moving forward, is what I'm trying to tell or teach him.
Okay. Okay.
And his whole thing is doing YouTube is the only thing in this world that's going to get him to where he needs to be. I'm telling him, guys, the Lord did not bring you here just to do YouTube. That's not true.
I got you.
And he thinks because of special ed that YouTube is the only thing that he can do. And I'm telling him, I'm a single parent here trying to work, make it work. I mean, you know, and he's not pressing for it. You know, it's like he don't have anything. This boy is privileged. We're in a decent neighborhood, decent house, but he still wants to fall back on this other thing. And to me, it's a crutch of, I just don't want to work, I want to do YouTube. That's not going to work here. Because I need you to get out and learn how to network with other people and, you know, things of that sort. He just don't see it as a positive side.
Right.
So that's not that on. I'm trying to teach him as a man, you have to learn to work. You cannot raise children when you have a family and say, I'm just going to do YouTube. I'm going to put everything on the computer. We're going to be $1 million rich, and you don't have to pay for school.
Where is his father, his biological father? Where is he?
His biological father is deceased.
Since when? Since your son was how old?
He committed suicide.
How old was your son when his father committed
I
suicide?
know that child, but I'm sorry.
How old was your son when his father committed suicide?
13.
Okay, now you know that right there, you just gave me something that has totally changed my interpretation of your whole situation. Okay, we're dealing with a young man whose father took his own life at the very same time when his son needed him most at the age of 13, going into his manhood years, the period, you know, and I suspect that has a lot to do with why your son hasn't done more with his life. I suspect that has a lot to do with why, you know, you feel he's become a YouTube addict. He's hurting. And I'm also wondering if you have been listening. I know you've been hearing him, but does he feel he gets an open, unbiased ear when he talks to you as his mother? Right.
He feels that he doesn't. He feels that he doesn't. And as a parent, I'm telling him, guys, we all know, we all have his spouse, for one thing, has to raise 3 children. Now, I can sit here and I can waver and, you know, I just can't do it because this happened. But somewhere inside you got to take pull it out of you and keep going. You can't just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, yeah, I was here, and I don't want to say stuck, the word stuck, but you know what I'm saying, with 3 children.
Okay. What are the ages of the other children?
My oldest, well, now he's 30, but when it happened, how old was your mom? He was 13? Okay, so he was 23, and my daughter was 16.
Okay.
And so
oldest son, he's a manager for Verizon, so he's got his own store. He's doing what he needs to do. He has his family. My daughter's in school at UWM, and she's going to be a pediatrician, and she's working. So that's where we are. I'm not saying every child is the same, and some have to struggle more than others.
He's the youngest.
More than others.
He's the youngest, correct?
Yeah, he's the youngest.
Yeah, and he was the baby. Yeah, he. Okay. Has he ever had any counseling after his father's suicide?
I'm sorry?
Has he been through counseling after his father's suicide? Has there been any counseling?
Yes.
Okay. It probably wasn't enough, or it probably wasn't effective. I think both of you need to go to family counseling together as a group to work on your relationship, but I also think he needs individual counseling as well. So there needs to be group and there needs to be individual. And I have the phone number for the Association of Black Psychologists. If you would like to give that to you, or you could text me for it, or you can write it down now. But I would like you to call them and let them know that I referred you, that you need a psychologist or a therapist in Milwaukee who could work with your son, and just tell him what happened. His father.
Hold on just a minute.
Sure.
Hold on.
Sure.
I told him, I said, we know, like, as a here. He said, no, we need to talk to you. So can you just
Okay. You can hear me, good brother? Okay. He's definitely going to talk to me. When I come to Milwaukee, I want to meet with your son and you. When I come to Milwaukee, and you guys are going to remind me, because you're going to notice when I'm coming and you're going to remind me, but I want to come and meet with mom and son together, and then I'll meet with him alone. But I want to meet with the both of you together. But in the meantime, we need someone in his life who can be more consistent than Dr. UMAR Johnson can, given my many initiatives and my many travels. So we need that regular psychologist who's going to see every week or every other week, but then you'll have me more as a big brother. That's how we're going to do this. So let me give you the number to the Association of Black Psychologists. Are you ready, Queen Mother? Okay. 301 449 3082. Again, that is 301 449 3082. And that's the Association of Black Psychologists. It's based in the DC, Maryland area. If you do not hear back from them within a week, I need you to reach out to me. Call me or text me. And my number is 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Come closer to the phone, Queen. I can't hear you. I need everybody to mute your phone. I'm hearing children and outside. Please mute the phone because you're disrupting the call. Jeez. Okay, we got to do something about those children. Who is that with the phone on speaker? Okay, Queen Mother, go ahead and read that number back to me. Yes, 301-449-3082. And my number is 215-989-9858. Whoever that is, I need you to hang up. Somebody went into the school with their phone on speaker and you're disrupting my call. Hang the phone up or mute your phone. Somebody's in a school building. Black folks, boy. Can who? I don't. Is that you, Queen Mother? I don't think it is, because that sounds like a school. Somebody's talking to the school staff with their phone on and messing up my whole call. Yes, I'm still here. I'm just trying to see if this person can hang up or put the phone on mute. They might have thought they hung up and didn't. That could be it too. They might have thought they hung up and didn't hang up the phone. Now they got all that noise from the school coming into the call. We gotta do better. We got to do better. We are so irresponsible with our behavior.
Dr. UMAR, is there a star option?
There is, let me see something. There is. I just hate when let me see if I can find it. I can't believe somebody did that. Gosh. Let me see. I don't think so. I think they stay on. I'm going to hang up and dial back in, but I think they stay on. If anyone knows what the option is, just tell me what it is. It's free conference call.
Everybody hang up and dial back in.
No, she'll still be on. I think she'll still be on. Let me see. Hold on, *5. Let me see if this does it. Let me try something. We gotta do better than that. That's not it. To lock or unlock. I'm gonna hang up and call back in. We got to do better, black folks. You cannot mess up a conference for parents because you got your phone on, forgot to hang it up, go into a school with your phone on speaker. You got to just be more responsible than that. We have to stop sabotaging our work for our people this way. It is sickening. It just shows you how unconcerned we are with what we do to our own people.
Welcome to free conference calling. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code. If you are not the host, please press the... We will now connect you to your call. There are 20 attendees in this conference. The host has joined the conference.
Okay, we back. Praise the Lord, it's gone. Hopefully that wasn't intentional. Okay, so who has the next question?
I think Dr. I do in New Orleans, Louisiana.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
I just feel like the car is about to die.
Wait, hold on. Y'all starting that stuff again. Mute them phones. Here we... Come on, mute these phones. Okay, go ahead, Queen.
This is New Orleans, Louisiana?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I just had a couple of questions. But first, I wanted to ask you named some books that were good to read about back conditions. Can you put that on your Facebook page or put that in the messages?
Yeah, I'll put it on my Facebook page, and you can also text me for it if you want.
Okay, yes. And then you said something about Philadelphia earlier. You don't have to answer that right now, but I was trying to find out what you said because I couldn't hear you.
I was talking about immunizations. If you text me, I can text.
You said something about...
yeah, I'm about to say it now. Listen to me.
And I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
And I just was wondering what you said. But anywho, you don't have to answer that right now. But
Okay.
my question about vaccinations was about if you started vaccinations, what do you think about abruptly stopping them, or at what point did you stop them? Did you get, like, if you started a vaccine, something like 3 seconds, would you stop in the middle of the vaccination and you decided you don't want to vaccinate anymore, would you keep that or something? Or, I'm just wondering, or are there vaccinations that you feel are safe, or ones that you feel like some should get, or what?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't support vaccinations at all, so there's none that I'm going to give you that I'm safe with. As far as stopping and starting, you don't take vaccinations every day. You take them on a schedule, so it's not really, it's not like somebody taking medicine that they need every day. You normally take them across your childhood from birth all the way almost until, high school graduation. So if a parent decides they doesn't want to go along with the immunization itinerary anymore, they just stop. I know parents who stopped, whose children took some immunizations and they decided not to give them, anymore. You would probably need to speak with someone who's more expert in that area. I recommend Dr. Laila Africa, who is in Indianapolis, Indiana. If you need his name and contact, you can text me for that. There's also Dr. Curtis. I'm not sure if he's a doctor, but I'm going to call him a doctor. Dr. Curtis Koss, Scott Whitaker. There's a lot of people who are in, that industry who can give you, some better advice than I can, in terms of stopping and starting and that type of thing. But I don't support any immunizations. But if you would like to see whether or not you live in a state that, allows personal family belief exemption, religious exemption, medical exemption, I mean, you could Google it online or you could text me for the map.
I'm home with my kids, and I had stopped vaccinations a couple of years ago. I had a new baby, and I'm just concerned because I already got some vaccinations for my other 2 kids. My son, I stopped at 5, which, at that age, he's pretty much had most of his vaccinations. And my daughter, I stopped at 1. And she hasn't had the last hep B shot, And I was wondering about that. And I had the first 2. She hasn't had the last one. And
I got you.
my daughter, she did get the hep B. I was going to deny it, and I was kind of when I was in labor, I didn't really get a chance to when they had already, had baby and did some things, the baby, and so they gave her the first hep B. But I'm not sure if I want to continue on with her. She's the new baby.
Okay.
And it's I've already started some with my other kids. They're fine, my other kids, and it's just not, I wasn't sure,
Yeah.
should I continue, or.
Yeah, I got your question.
It's a difficult decision because you got people telling you should get vaccinations all the time. And then you got people, I've done my own research and I know what I know about vaccinations, and I've watched a lot of your videos and you speak about vaccinations. And I know what I know, but then there's just so much conflicting information out there about, vaccinations and why you should get them. And that's what I wanted to say too. I was in nursing school, and with nursing school, you're required to have certain vaccinations. And so they were requiring me to get, I had to get the hep B again because I was no longer immune. And a couple, another shot or whatever. And it's just I don't agree with that. And it's no way to get in nursing school if you don't get your immunization, And so it's I had to deal with that myself, and then coming into having my baby and then having to deal with her vaccinations, It's I don't really know, It's nurses student forces it kind of, and they're the profession supports vaccinations as a whole,
Right. Let me cut you for the sake of time.
And so, I kind of had to step back from nursing school because it's so conflicting with what I believe in, but I really want to go to nursing school, of course. And it's
I got you. Okay. Yes. Text me and I'll text you the names of some people you can speak with about those vaccinations. All right, my sister?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Dr. Omar.
Yes, ma'am.
And please list those books, too.
Say that again.
Those books. List those books.
Text me for the books. I don't need to say them. I could just text them to you. You have my number?
I have it. I believe it's somewhere if it's a page. I can find it.
I give it to you now. It's 215-989.
215. I'm typing it. 215.
989-9858.
989. 9858.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody mute your phones, please. Please mute those phones. Mute your phones.
Dr. Omar.
Yes, ma'am. Where you calling from?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Florida. Oh, where at in Florida?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Go right ahead.
Okay, in regards to the immunization, my son is 17, so of course he's had all these shots. I've just become, wise about immunization here recently. So he's getting ready to start college in January. And I was looking over the requirements and everything, looking over the fine print. And I was wanting to know, because you said personal belief, you used that particular term. So as I was looking at it, because it said he had to have the meningitis shot, if you were under 22, and they had to have it before January. I just noticed a couple of days ago. But it says the student is not required to submit evidence of receiving the vaccination if an affidavit signed by the student stating that the student declines the vaccination for reasons of conscience, including a religious belief. So reasons of conscience, would that be personal belief?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, there's a lot of students in college
All right.
all across the country who are not immunized. So yes, he wouldn't have, if it's a public university, yes, he can do the affidavit, the letter, with the notarization, and he'll be good.
Okay, then. That's what I needed to know.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next question. Is there another question on the call? Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Connecticut, sir. How are you this morning, sir?
All is well, sir. I'll be speaking in Connecticut next Thursday, the 19th. Hamden, Connecticut.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be there, sir. I'd love to be there. I don't have to go up there now for a family issue, but
Understood.
if I can, I'd love to be there.
No problem.
If it's possible, can I just express something to you, sir?
Sure.
I have a 16-year-old son, and you're talking about defiance in every way. Every day, you tell him, don't leave your clothes on the floor. Don't leave the drawer. Pick up behind you. Every day, this has been a year of change, does the same thing. He calls me names, N-word. Don't do it. Oh, that's what they do, Dad. I'm joking. I don't take it as a joke, son. It's very serious. Don't do it. Does it again. When you call me, say Dad. Oh, Stephen. That's not my name. My name to you is Dad. Oh, I'm joking. Not a joke, son. Consistently defiant. Doesn't have a relationship with his brother. His brother is almost 26 years old. No relationship. His brother, very quiet. Mostly to himself. I don't know what else to do with this kid. We give him love when he was small. I said, listen, son, black men are an endangered species. I'm trying to save your life. You know nothing about the ghetto. I grew up in the ghetto, and I survived the ghetto. You have no clue what the ghetto is. You're living in Connecticut, in the suburbs. Hey, I don't know what else to do with this kid.
Okay. Where is the mom? Is she in the house with you guys?
Mom is here. We work with him from day one. Family. Grew up in a family, mother and father.
There's a reason for that. How long this been going on?
I would say, doctor, within, say, a year and a half, drastic change in a year and a half. Funny enough, in school, it's minimum disruption. You know, yes, they have some complaints about him coming in late, but a lot of people say, oh, this kid is a great kid. He's so respectful. You should be proud of him. Well, okay. At home, it's a different world.
How does the mother see it?
She sees it as, that maybe I gave him too many things. She feels that I beckoned to everything he needed. But, I tried to give him what he needed. Now, everything I've given in his room, he has sold.
Okay, so you're talking about being spoiled.
A moped, and I refused to give him a moped. So, sold it, bought the moped, now he no longer has the moped.
Okay, so he's been spoiled, you would say.
I'd say, in a degree, I would take some responsibility of giving him everything that he needed, especially when he was younger, growing up. I cut back within the last, I would say, last 2 years. Yes, sir.
Okay, and also,
I take some responsibility for that.
okay, how many other siblings in the family?
Just his big brother. His brother is, like I said, almost 26.
Okay, so he's real. Okay, he's the baby. He's the only one in the home now as a sibling. Yeah, I think he may have been spoiled there. Also, somewhere in your relationship, you and your son, was there any ruptures? Did anything go wrong? Even anything between you and mom, particularly, that he doesn't like? Sometimes I've seen situations where the son can kind of turn, villainous against the dad if you feel that dad ain't treating mom right, or were you out of the family for a while? It seems as if he has a grudge with you for some reason. Nothing like that.
Family been solid. I mean, I think no.
Okay, so it's not that.
His brother, like I said, doesn't communicate with him.
Okay.
And his brother doesn't communicate that much, period. His brother is very quiet.
Okay. I mean, it could be a pure issue of him beginning to smell himself, figuratively speaking, and you might have to check him. I mean, it could be a thing where he wants to be like everybody else in the hood. He's trying to, become that gangster, if you would. And you may just have to put him in his place. It could purely be that. It's just that from a psychological standpoint, I try to look at some of the other variables that could go into it, because it's normally not that simple. Most of the time, it's normally just not that simple, but it could be. It could very well be, that he's in them teenage years where he's trying out different identities and he's seeing friends who get away with disrespecting their parents, and he's trying to try it himself. So you might just got to have a serious conversation with him, because he's almost at the age. He's already at the age of being an emancipated minor at 16, but he's even, close to being an age where he'll be a grown man and you don't have to be under this roof. So I think y'all going to have to make it clear to him that there's rules to living in this house, once you turn a certain age. And if you don't follow those rules, we will put you out. So it might be time for that conversation. I hope it isn't, but sometimes you do have to give that tough conversation.
Well, Dr. Umar, here's the thing, and thank you for saying that. Everything I say to him, I don't care. I don't care. I'll survive. I don't care. I say, you don't care. I say, you don't have a clue. Oh, some kids don't have a father, and they survive that. And I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, wow. Nonchalant attitude, Doc.
And you said it started a year and a half ago. Was there anything that occurred a year and a half ago?
A year and a half ago. I would say a year and a half ago. There's some kids. I don't know his friends. I remember one day he left the house. I was actually at work. I saw him on a video. I didn't know it was him. 2:30, wandering around the house. He climbed through the window to go get pizza from his friend's party. leave my kid. But his grades is not reflecting that, even though he's so intelligent.
Now, how's he doing in school? Is he struggling in school, or he doing okay?
No, sir. Not with the level of intelligence that he has. No, he should be an A student on the dean's list. Even the teachers have said it. Now he doesn't want me to come to the school. When they're in the teachers' meeting, he doesn't sign up, so I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But he could be on the dean's list if he applied himself. And the teachers have said that. They say he's a brilliant boy if he just applied, be given just the basic minimum. Right now he's all in, 60, 66, 70. He's still not passing. I said, that's not acceptable to me, son.
Right.
You want the best, but that's not acceptable to your dad and your mom. Oh, I'm passing.
Now, let me ask you another question.
Is just nonchalant.
I got you. Your relationship with him, is there any opportunity for the two of you guys to just hang out? Like, yes, do y'all spend time together, you and your son? Or is the relationship purely about him needing to do what he needs to do as a child? Like, is there any, fun to the relationship between you guys? Or if I was to ask him, what is the problem with your dad? Would he potentially say that it's just all criticism? I only hear from him when I'm doing something wrong. Like, are you guys have y'all built a relationship outside of you needing to be the disciplinarian?
Excellent question. From he was small, I did everything I could of him. He wants to go skate up to the skate park, whatever he needs, bike riding, I would take him. His main thing to everybody is, my dad is overprotected. He's overprotected. Hey, you know what? I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to tell you the dangers of what up there. Yes, I'm overprotected because I want you to at least understand that's a serious world out there for young black men. So that's his main thing with me. You're overprotected. I don't worry about you like how you worry about me. That's his exact quote. Dad, I don't worry about you like how you worry about me. Why you worry about me? Direct quote.
I got you. I got you.
I don't know. I'm not giving up on my son in no way.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ever. But at the same token, I told him, you gotta respect me. I'm your father. Oh, Dad, I respect you. No, you don't. Not the way you talk. The other day, his friend was here. The guy heard him. We were doing some work in the house. The guy heard him. He said, did the boy just curse? He forgets sometimes. I couldn't believe it. So I walked up to him and said, you realize my friend heard you curse? We're fixing something. Oh, I didn't say, you did, because he heard you.
Yeah,
So, I just don't, I can't comprehend it. I mean, we both as a parent try our best. And he annoys us to no end when he comes in from school. He wants it. He'll walk behind you a whole hour. He wants it. If he wants something, oh, God, you can't get rid of him. But if you want him to do something 3, 4, 5, 6 days, still ain't done yet. You take the phone, you cut the phone off, he finds a way to use the phone. He says, oh, Dad, don't mean nothing. I can use it when there's internet. He said, what? So, I mean, where do I go? I mean, I don't want the school to label him. When he was younger, they tried, but I didn't go with it because I had a meeting. Just like I heard you said before, even prior to knowing you recommended this. I met with them. Okay? But the school, he's in high school, strange enough, they think he's a great kid. Other than he gets there late with a few disruptive issues, but they think he's a wonderful kid. Oh, he's so respectful. Yeah, but I wish you would show that at home.
Let me ask you a question. Because you mentioned, him saying that you were too protective. Is it possible that he feels like you're smothering him? Like, is he allowed to, do things children do, like go hang out for a little bit? Are there things he wanted to do that you didn't let him do that he felt he should have been able to do? Because it sounds like he's rebelling against. I'm getting a sense that he feels like he's being smothered too much, that he's not being allowed to grow a little bit into being a man. Any thoughts on that?
In the younger years, Doc, yes, I wasn't gonna let him go and just hang out the street. Now he goes out. Sometimes he doesn't even let me know. He'll say, okay, I'm just going to the park. Sometimes he doesn't even tell say where you are. Oh, I'm at a friend's house. What's the friend's address? Why can't I know who this person is? Oh, yeah, I don't want you to come there and make me feel bad. I said, no, I'm not going to come there. I just want to know that hopefully if there's an emergency where you are.
Right. I think I need some counseling, a couple sessions of family counseling. I think, to have that person in the middle, be that mediator in a safe, comfortable environment where he feels like he can speak without being cut off. You feel you can speak without being cut off. That's what I think. I just think that the two of you are missing each other, but I think we can rectify it, and we want to do it now before it gets out of hand, because I would hate for it to get to a point where you feel you have no other choice, but to physically put him in his place, and we don't want that. So I think it's time for that dialogue. If you would like, I could give you the Association of Black Psychologists referral number, and they would be able to refer someone who could, work with you guys. And again, it might only take a couple of meetings, but I think the two of you need it. I think he probably just needs some alone as well, a couple sessions with himself. And I think mom should be involved as well. I think that the mother should probably be involved in some of the sessions, because she's that outside person looking at that relationship who can probably shed some light on it, so the therapist will know exactly, what to target in the conversation.
May I say something, though?
Sure.
I mentioned to him this about 3 months ago. I said, I'd like you to go and talk to a counselor with me. He said, no, I don't want to speak to no idiots. Just like that. And I said, son, somebody with a PhD is an idiot? Oh, they're ignorant. They don't know this generation. They don't understand what we are about. I said, what on earth are you talking about? I said, that sounds like madness, son. I said, speak to somebody. I'll be there and just express to them your thoughts. No, I don't want to go.
Okay.
So,
But you're going to have to make him go, though.
I don't know.
You're going to have to make him go, because he needs to go. Because honestly, he getting a little too far out of hand. Y'all might have to give him his walking papers soon. I would make that a condition. Listen, son, if you stand under this roof, you're going to have to go to these meetings. He shouldn't have a choice in that regard. Y'all going to have to make him go. Yeah, no more asking. You're going to have to demand. You're going to have to tell him.
And it's funny. Like he said, oh, I'm not going to be like my brother. I'm not going to be in the house. By 18, I'm gone. I said, well, I'd like you to go in the military. Maybe you'll get some guidance there. Oh, no. I don't want to be rich. I said, how are you going to be rich? I said, that's a good idea, but I'll be rich. I said, okay. I said, this is what I'm trying to guide you. So if you do become rich, I'm glad that you feel you're going to be rich, that you even have some guidance and some respect and not be deceitful, because deception in any business, you won't last long, son.
Right.
I said, nobody's going to trust you if you can't keep your word. I said, Mom and I tell you things for days, for weeks, for months, years. Still do the same thing. Now, if you get into business and you can't be trusted, you will not lie to the business person. So, you take it from there.
Right.
But, it's just that he doesn't keep his word. He expects you to keep your word. And every day you tell him, why is the drawer open? I told you that last night. Don't need to have the drawer open. And the craziest thing is that he goes to the living room of all places to get dressed. He leaves his bedroom and down the living room to get dressed. He has everything laid out in his living room. I said, what on earth are you doing in the living room and the dining room area? That's off limits.
Right.
Okay? And he's down there getting dressed.
One.
To me, it's insanity. I couldn't go in the living room and dining room.
I got you. Let me suggest this as well. Maybe me and him need to have a conversation. Ask if he's interested in speaking with Dr. Umar. And if he is, send me a text message, and I'd like to talk to him just to get his perspective on things as well. Do you have my cell number, brother?
Yes, sir. I certainly do.
Talk to him and see.
Definitely tell him that when he comes in from school.
Yeah, and he can text me himself. Tell him he can text me himself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can tell him he can text me himself. You spoke to my dad. He called in today. We're from Connecticut. I'll remember who it is, and I'll hit him up, and me and him can rap a little bit.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'd love to hear what he would tell you if he'd be willing.
Definitely. We're going to do that. Make sure he does that. And after I talk with him, you and I will conversate again.
Yes.
Okay.
I will tell him, give me your number and hear if he's willing to do it. I don't know, Doc, if he's going to do it, but I'd love for him to do it.
Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot. If he doesn't, let me know.
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank you for your time. This is just wonderful that you extend this to our people. I really appreciate this. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Barbara. Thanks a lot. We're gonna get it worked out.
Thank you, Doc.
All right now.
I'm humbly appreciative, sir. I mean that sincerely. You know, because a lot of people don't get back when they get to the level.
Yes, sir.
At the top of the ladder. They don't get back.
True. Very true. Very true. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right now. Peace and love.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there another question on the call this morning? Yes, sir. Where you calling from, my brother?
I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You were just down here not too long ago.
Yes, sir. And I'll be coming back down there probably next week. There's a school for sale in Fort Lauderdale that I'm going to be visiting within the next week. But go right ahead, my brother.
Oh, that's cool. I would like to know actually where that's around. Yeah. Okay. I'm a new parent, and I'm not sure on how should I get involved with the PTA and committee board meeting, because they got a school fundraiser for the PTA, which I'm not involved in, and I'm not sure how I should go about this. Should I really be involved in the PTA like that? Because I mean, I'm off during the morning, but I take care of two other of my kids, and while I'm gonna say the mother of my kids goes to work during the morning, and I take care of the two before she gets here. So I'm not sure how would I schedule that should I even be participating in the PTA period?
I think you should, because we should always know what's going on with our children. However, your participation in the PTA should not replace the need for you and the other parents in that school district to organize to fight for change. Understand something. The PTA to the public school is what the black politician is to the white power structure. It's what the NAACP is to the U.S. government. It is not there to really help our children or our parents. It is there to give the impression that they actually care and that you can affect change within the system. Okay, so the PTA is the NAACP. And and not to knock the NAACP, they've done some good things, but that's not an organization founded by us. The NAACP is a white organization that they use to control the progress of black people. The Parent Teacher Association is a white organization that they use to control, okay, how much change they're going to allow black parents to make. So I think you should be there for the information, to be the spook who sat by the door.
Okay.
But then y'all still need to organize outside of that with the National Independent Black Parent Association.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. Okay. So now, with that being said, now I understand you suggest I get involved. Now, just so happen I do not get involved with this fundraising that they have for the PTA. Should I have my kid even participate in it if there's no involvement, since it's a white organization and collecting funds and the donation helping sell donuts? If I'm not a part of it, I don't think I should even help fundraise, right?
Well, it depends. It depends. What are they raising money for? If it's
it doesn't say nothing.
I would have to find that out. I wouldn't, I would have to find, if I think it's like if they're raising money for the kids to do something. Okay, what's all this background noise? A lot of background noise. Mute your phones. Too much static. Mute your phones. Is that you, my brother? What's all that noise?
No, that's not me.
That's not you. Okay, I got you.
My kid,
Okay.
that's not me.
I need somebody to mute their phone. Too much feedback. Come on, y'all. Mute them phones. Somebody getting out their car. Don't have the phone muted. We in trouble. Somebody is in the car with the door open and wouldn't. Come on, y'all. Mute the phones now. But I would find out what the fundraiser is for. In other words, you're not going to use my child as no money dummy. My child is not no money dummy, because sometimes you got schools who use the children as money dummies. A fundraiser for this, a fundraiser for that, and then you have to step back and say, wait a minute, don't you get money in your school budget for this? Why is my child out here raising money for something that you get that is itemized in your budget? So it would need to be something that is justifiably a necessity that isn't already accounted for in this year's budget, because schools are very clever and they use our children as financial slaves to go and get extra money under the disguise of good citizenship and loving your school and school pride, and all they doing is exploiting the kids to get some extra money. So I would investigate it. I'm not automatically against it. It would depend on what they're doing.
I definitely understand that. Okay. I appreciate that. And with that being said, I really appreciate the information. I hope you let me know when you're back down here in Fort Lauderdale. Check out the school. I'm originally from New York. I've been down here for so long. So I'd love to get involved in whatever you got going on in Fort Lauderdale. Please and believe it. Whatever I can do to help, if a little to a lot, I'd love to help. Whatever you got going on, brother.
Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Let me ask you a quick question before I let you go. You still there? You still there, my brother? Hold on. I'm still with the last caller. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, quick question, because you live in Fort Lauderdale, right?
That is correct.
Okay. I'm going to be looking at that school in Fort Lauderdale. The only thing that concerns me about Fort Lauderdale is all these hurricanes and tornadoes. I don't want to spend the people's money on those schools only for that school to be laid flat by one of these unnatural disasters. I mean, the weather situation down there, is it stable or what? What's your take on that?
Well, I think it is, Dr. Umar. If you look at it, when the hurricane that just passed, what I would suggest, if the school is one of the evacuation zones for evacuees, so to know it's in code to be secure enough that your school, no matter what hurricane you got, better yet, black people, I wouldn't discriminate against that. If everybody's going through a hurricane, we got to take people. But if it's one of those schools where it can withstand a hurricane powerful enough as Irma that just passed, and you can take in evacuees, that's definitely a secure school, hurricane or no hurricane. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you. So I need to check into that. Now, if it doesn't have that certification, then I might got to fall back.
I was against that as well. Correct.
Got you. Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, not a problem at all. I'm here to help. Whatever you got going on, I'm a new parent, so I'm gonna be on this line quite well. Hopefully not a lot. I wouldn't be needing help. Hopefully it's easy breezy, but I'm prepared for the words with you, man.
Got you. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, bro.
All right, no problem. All right now.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Where you calling from?
From Connecticut.
Connecticut. I'll be there next Thursday. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm going to try to make it to there.
Go right ahead with your question.
Yeah. My name is Jay Carter. I'm actually from Connecticut. Huge fan of yours. Huge follower of yours. I'm actually 30 years old. I'm married to a black woman the last 6 years. I'm actually a college football coach.
All right.
And after listening to you the last few years, it's really awakening me to a lot of things and how effective am I truly being for my black Africans. And I really want to be a true a vessel of service to my own community. We don't have any kids yet, so there are many plans that I've listened to you that I have set
Okay. Yes, sir.
So I'm taking steps forward to make sure that I'm giving back to my people first. I just don't know. I'm in a profession. I'm in college football. I'm a college football coach. I'm in a profession that's dominated by white males teaching and directing black male athletes. So it's a difficult profession I'm in for me to really truly be as effective as I would like to be at this point in my career.
Mm-hmm.
My career is on the rise. I would just like to kind of see if you have any tips on how to navigate that and how I can be of service to my community within the profession I'm in. Or is that it's not possible because of the type of profession I'm in.
Well, I would say,
it's possible in the college, you know what I mean?
yeah, I think you could do a lot of good as a coach. You know, my problem is the coaches who are only about wins and losses. Coaching is a very effective rites of passage, manhood training position to be in. I mean, you teach how to lose with class, humility, teamwork, planning, strategy, assessment, everything that we go through in life, you go through being a part of a sports team, everything. So I think sports is an excellent opportunity to teach our young men how to be men, how to deal with being cheated. You know, you got to deal with that, losing a game where you didn't lose the game and dealing with that racism on the field. I mean, in sports, it's a microcosm of the universe, you know, and I think it's a very effective way to teach our children responsibility. The problem is the financial side and the ego side and the competitiveness sometimes undermines the value, you know, of what sports brings. But I think sports is an excellent way to really help our young men. Everything they need to learn, they can be taught on that team. Everything. It's all about the coach and whether his priorities are in line. Nothing wrong with winning, nothing wrong with competition. That's a part of life too. But at the expense of character building, at the expense of teamwork, you know, that's when I begin to pull back. Because in the last couple of years, I've had to recommend to parents to take their children off of certain teams because I thought the coaches were toxic coaching, you know, who were traumatizing the children, abusing them emotionally, you know, for losing games. I mean, really, you have too many coaches who are trying to relive their life through their athletes. You know, he's not you. This young man is not you. You cannot burden him with the obligation of winning because you lost. You know, because you lost the state championship, you cannot make it the be all and end all of these young men's careers to win the state championship. You know, if they lose, they lose. That's all right. At least they tried. But to berate them and belittle them and negatively criticize them because they could not achieve something for you that you couldn't do for yourself is unfair. You know, but if you're doing the right thing, and it sounds like you definitely are, you know, I think that position you're in is a good one. You know, you could probably add to it, have them read certain things, watch certain things, discuss certain things. There could be a study group component to being on the team off season, you know, that doesn't interfere with the, you know, the seasonal activities. But I think it's a good position to be in. I think it's a very good position to be in.
Got it. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to make it to your event coming up next Thursday. However, I do get off. I get out of practice at 6:30, and I know your event starts at 6 o'clock. I hate to be late to things, but I know that day is probably going to be sold out. I'm going to try my best to try to get out of practice early just for that.
Yeah, and I think you'll be fine because even though we say we get started at 6, we usually get started closer to 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I think you'll be fine. And you can get the tickets at the door or online. Now online, they're $20 for all of my events. At the door, they're $30. And it's free for children 17 and younger. So if you're able to bring your boys on the team, you know, consider that as well because there's no fee for 17 and younger.
Got it. And I know, just to add this last part, I just know that based on a lot of the values and the principles that you teach on, it makes you so aware of where you stand and what are you really truly doing for your community. It really makes you question and look in the mirror at yourself as a black man, as a black woman, or whoever you are. So that's why I know I'm going to get pushed back as my career rises in this profession.
They're not. They're not. But that's when you.
The level of sacrifice that has to come with this. That's why I kind of I wasn't sure if there's certain professions that you see like, hey, you can only go so far as profession if you truly want to do the work for our people. I wasn't sure if you had that opinion or not.
Right.
If you truly want to do the work for our people, there's certain professions that you may not be able to truly rise or be successful in because of what you stand for.
That's true too.
Is that the case, or is it really not the case? I don't really know. But it's just.
Yeah, it is the case, and it also is not the case. It's both, because, you know, you can only go so far, but at the same time, we do need people in those systems because our children are there. You know, if all black teachers quit the public school system and most black children go to public school, where does that leave our children? If all black coaches stop coaching at the white schools because they're racist, where does that leave the black kids who go to those white schools? You know, so I'm very much, you know, a proponent of independent institutions, but at the same time, I'm very much a proponent of making sure that we have people there to protect our children. I remember I was at this one school, and I was assistant principal at this charter school, and I was going to leave, and all the teachers like, we leaving with you. I said, y'all can't. And they said, why? I said, because if everybody leaves, who's going to protect these children? I said, the minute I leave, they're going to try to suspend half those boys because I kept them from suspending and expelling a lot of the black kids. I wouldn't do it. But I knew once I resigned, that's exactly what they were going to do. So I told the teachers, I said, some of y'all have to stay here because if we all leave, you know they're going to expel those boys. If you don't have no black people here to put up a fight for our kids, they're done. So until we have enough independent schools and institutions to look out for our children, some of us have to stay there and fight while the others build on the outside.
Got it. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
No problem. No problem. Thank you. Is there another question on the call?
Hi. I just came in.
Where are you calling from, sister?
I'm from South Carolina, but I'm originally from Philadelphia.
You from Philly? You in South Carolina? Where at in South Carolina? Columbia. I was trying to do Columbia for Kwanzaa. I was trying to do Columbia, South Carolina for Kwanzaa. It's not going to work for Kwanzaa, but it is going to work for either January or Black History Month. So Dr. Umar will be speaking in Columbia. First time. I was there once before, but it was a small event. So it'll really be my first time in Columbia, South Carolina, and that's going to either be January or February.
Okay, that'll be great. I look forward to that. I forget how I just brought to your attention, but I admire the stuff that you talk about our young black men and females. And I listen to you a lot. I even put my daughters on listening to you. And I'm one of those females that I don't remember the exact YouTube I watched with you about that we reach out to our kids instead of having, you know, the Caucasian people reach out to take care of our own kids. I'll just say this, not to be long-winded. My mother and I encountered some children because I'm a preschool teacher, and they're in no relation, and we take to the 6 of them, and we take care of them 3 boys and 3 girls. The mother, I'm not going to say she doesn't love her children. I know she does. She's just not mentally capable of taking care of her children. Her mother and I befriended each other because we worked together. So, in turn, she didn't want them to go in the system. So, a co-worker and I at the time, there's only 4 of them. I took the 2 girls, she took the 2 boys. The mother was pregnant at the time with the 5th child, which is a girl, and she asked me to take her. Not thinking at the time I said that yes, and that 6 weeks I couldn't stay out of work. So my mother was retired, you know, stepped in so she would help. And she took her 6 weeks, and then she didn't want to give her back. So I, you know, didn't make a big fuss because my mother, like I said, she was retired, and all of us are grown, so we're no longer home. So then the young lady got pregnant again with the 6th child. And she kept asking me to get our kids and got kids done. And I was like, you know, asking, what is why you having children? But again, I was like, I felt some type of way because I do not want him to, wind up going in the system, and we got the other file. So I took him to intern. So, now,
your phone is a little blurry, Queen. Your phone is blurry.
I apologize. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So now the young lady that took the two boys, she became pregnant, and she could no longer care for them. So my mother stepped in, and she took the two boys. So now my mom has the two boys, and the little girl, and I have the two oldest girls and the little boys. Okay. The system, the DSS system down here, one of the statements they made was that she had been in the system too long in the first place. And I don't know if you recall, but a few years back, DSS had got a big backlash in here because they, in 2 to 3 years, over 400 kids had passed away in their care. So they had a big thing about that. So eventually, in 2015, they took their hands and washed their hands of her and took her out the system. And they was, because she wasn't complying with the things that she needed to do as far as getting her kids back, which she wasn't. I can vouch for because I tried to help her myself. So when they took their hands out of it, they totally took their hands out of it. Like they offered no assistance or anything. Mind you, my mother and I never, since we had those, and we've had them for 5 years now, we pay for these kids out of our own pockets. The only thing that we get is food stamps and medical assistance for them.
Yes.
So they totally washed the hands of the children. And so now, last year, my mom took ill. She had a massive stroke. So now I care for my mother as well. So I had a big thing with this system because I'm trying to not let these kids go into the system because they growing up together, and you are not going to find, it's few and far between you'll find anybody to take all these kids into their home.
Right.
And bring them all together. That's not, and especially out of their own pockets, that's never, ever, that's rare that you'll find it. And I'm not saying that the kudos pat myself on the back, but this is what I was telling the DSS worker yesterday when I was talking to her. Yesterday when I was talking to her because I had a hard time getting somebody to come and talk to me because they felt like because the case was closed, basically, what am I doing here? And I told them, I said, well, one thing I had thought about moving out of state because my mom, the services that she gets down here is minimal compared to me taking her back home to get the services. And I wanted to know, was it okay if we took the kids with us? So which they told us, yes, there's nothing in there that said that we couldn't. I said, well, yes, it did. I said, we were told in the report paper that if we moved, we had to come and talk to y'all before we did so. And that's what I'm doing. And another thing, because it's 6 children, another friend of mine, she came and stepped in and volunteered to help me with 2 of the 3 children that my mother had. Now, there's also a clause in the court document that says that there should be no third party to help. But again, we're trying to keep the kids out the system because we know it takes a village to raise the kids. And I grew up in the old school. My grandmother's house had always been open to whoever needed a place to stay. My mother's house has always been like that. And I'm like the 3rd generation, and that's how I am. So my friend, when she decided to help, I kept getting backlash from trying to get them in school because she's not on the paperwork to allow them to come to school in her district. So I had to go and talk to them, explain to them about the situation, and they allowed them to go for this year, and every year after it's going to be a problem. So I talked to the lady yesterday, and I told them, I said, your pocket even more if they were in the system. So she was like, well, they said there's no third party. I said, yes, I've been to this office several times trying to get one of y'all to come out and talk to me. So when she eventually, listened to the whole story, she apologized. And I said to her, it should not be this hard for me to try to take. I said, I'm already struggling taking care of these 6 kids and my mother. And now that I have somebody that's willing to help me with 2 of these 6 kids.
Is that your phone, Queen? Who's that interrupting?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Is that on your end? The 2 sisters talking?
No, I thought that was on your end.
Okay, that must be someone else. Mute your phones, family. Mute your phones. Okay.
So my thing is, down here, it seems like it's a lot of, I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm getting a lot of trouble, and not trouble, but it's making it harder, and it seems like it's making it harder to the point that, I don't want to give up on these kids and say, okay, so I'm going to give them back to give them to the system. But at the point, I don't know. I guess my question is, because I knew I don't know if you still building your school.
Yes, I am.
You building your school, because I really look forward to it, because I have 3 boys and I have no male influence.
Okay.
Because my mother and I are down here. I moved down here because of my mother when she first came down here. Because I used to work for the school district, and so did my mother prior to Philadelphia School District, prior to moving down here. And when the new superintendent came in, she revamped the whole preschool. Remember when the preschools were in the schools? And she took those out. I used to work at on Cobbs Creek. I can't think of the name of the school, the elementary school, but we wound up being one of the schools that they took the preschool out. So I moved down here. So they basically, the 3 boys have, and I try to find places like the Boys and Girls. I can't think of the name, but they don't have enough males that sign up for the program. And it's a lot deeper as far as the kids that they went through stuff. But like I said, it's a struggle. And, I take heed to what you said about us, taking in our own children. But I can see both sides of the fence of us taking in our own children, but struggling too, because we're, not having the support we need to take care of our own children. Biologically, I have 1 child and 1 grandchild, but I am now helping 6 children.
Right.
And plus, I have another daughter who came to me when she was 17 years old.
This is what we gonna do. Let me jump in on you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I got an idea for you. We have a sister in Columbia, South Carolina, who's starting a new chapter of the National Independent Black Parent Association. And one of the 6 required committees, one of the 7 required committees for the National Independent Black Parent Association is social support. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to put you in contact with her to see how she can help you navigate this system and see what resources we can find for you, because we do not want to give the children back to the system. We do not want to do that. So let me give you my cell number. I want you to text me, and then I will put the 2 of you in contact with each other. Okay. Are you ready for the number?
All right. I'm ready.
215
989
9858.
9858. 215-989-9858.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So shoot me a text. Remind me you're the parent from Columbia, South Carolina, who's raising some of your nieces and nephews.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Remind me, you're the parent from Columbia, South Carolina, who's raising some of your nieces and nephews, because they're relatives of yours, correct? They're children that you're raising?
No.
Oh, they're not relatives. Okay. No, okay. I commend you for that. I commend you. I commend you for that. I really commend you for that.
I'm a preschool teacher.
Okay.
And the oldest girl I have, she was in my four-year-old class.
Got you. I commend you for doing that, to taking on children that are not even yours. More of us need to do the same, because we have too many black children in the foster care system. So shoot me that text, and I'm going to put you in contact with the sister, and we're going to help you. We're going to help you.
I definitely appreciate it. I'm going to do it now.
Okay.
I'll stay online because my cousin, Keisha, just texted me and told me you were on, and I've been trying to get on with you for so long. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I appreciate, and I really am very, I love the work that you do, especially for our boys.
Got you. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, sister. Where you calling from? All is well. Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'll be speaking in Hamden on Thursday the 19th next week.
Okay. My question to you is, my daughter currently goes to a charter school in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yes.
Called Capital Prep, run by Dr. Stephen Perry. But I've also been given the opportunity to possibly put her in a nearby town that has a better school system, mostly white. As you know, I don't know if you know Bridgeport, is one of the worst in the state. So
Yes.
I'm trying to decide if it would be wise for her to go to a suburban school or just to keep her at that charter school, which I've also was kind of my last choice because of kind of the information I've heard about, or rumors I've heard, the good and bad about how that school is run currently.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to get your take on that.
Okay. And she's currently at Dr. Steve Perry's charter school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, right now.
Okay. The question I would have is, what do you think would improve if you took her out of his school and put her in the suburban school? Number one, we're considering that because the suburban school is closer to home. Is it closer to home?
No, there is nothing with distance. It's just the quality of education that I feel she would get.
Okay.
They're just starting out their lower school. This year was their first year. There's been a lot of hiccups, and I'm being understanding because it is a first year school, and just what I love better is just the teachers being black and her surroundings, but also I'm not sure that the teachers are putting in the effort that they need to.
What grade?
In that charter school.
What grade is your daughter again? I'm sorry.
She's in kindergarten.
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 Okay, keep going. I'm listening.
So I just think, and the lack of funding that they're not getting, it's just, I feel like if she were to go to the other school, she would just might get a better quality education. I'm trying to wait it out, trying to give it a chance, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Just wanted to get your opinion.
Okay. Couple of things that you have to consider. Number one, she's surrounded by her own people now. She's a baby. If we put that beautiful black child in a white school, we also have to be prepared to deal with the ramifications of that. They're definitely, just through the images, she's going to be taught that white is right. There's the whole I'm different that she's going to have to deal with too. God forbid if she's mistreated for being different, which is also a possibility. Not as great a possibility if she was a black boy, but being a black girl, I always worry about the psychological alienation and inferiority complex that a lot of black girls suffer from when they go to predominantly white schools. If you look at a lot of girls, a lot of our daughters who go to predominantly white schools, they have the green contacts, they want the blonde hair, they want to look white because they look so different, and they already live in a society that teaches them that everything black is ugly, especially black women. So I'm concerned about the psychologicals, because whatever you put in the brain, you can't take out of the brain once it's there. So that's my biggest concern about the suburban school. The other thing too, believe it or not, as someone who's evaluated a lot of children in both charter schools, ghetto schools, independent schools, African-centered schools, home schools, I've done it all. And don't get me wrong, you got some good white private schools, just like you got some good black charter schools. But by and large, I believe that the improvement in education that is often attributed to putting a black kid in a white school is not due to the education. It's due to the context and the culture in which it takes place. In other words, when a black child goes to a white school, they're being taught by teachers, who are paid better, who know that they're going to be held accountable for what they teach. But at the same time, they're also exposed to classmates who've been taught a little bit better. But most importantly, it's the vocabulary. I'm finding that the vocabulary at the white school, obviously, is of a higher quality than the vocabulary at the black school, which, just by being exposed to a better vocabulary, she's going to do better in class. She's going to do better on the testing, because the vocab is the weapon that they use in the ghetto schools, because our kids don't read. The white schools make the children read. And that's one of the biggest differences I'm noticing. You're going to read at a white private school where you might not have to do much reading at a black charter school. But the question becomes, is that a great enough benefit for us to risk the psychological effects on her self-esteem and self-concept if we put her in a predominantly white environment? It's a tough question, to answer as a parent. It's not something you can answer right now, but it's something that you really need to think about. And the other thing that I'm concerned about, if you put her there and it turns out you have to get her out because they're complaining about ADHD, low achievement, whatever excuses they're going to make because they don't want her there, will she be able to go back? That's the other thing you got to consider. Right. Will Steve Perry, and let me not say him because, it's more than just him, it's that team, so I don't want to put it on the brother, but will she have a spot waiting for her? Because from what I understand, his school has a waiting list. So if you take her out of that spot, can she go back if you have to pull her out of the white private school? That would be my bigger concern. If you say she can come back, I say go ahead and give it a shot. If you say she can't come back, then my question is going to be, what other options do you have if she can't go back there and you have to take her out of the private school?
Okay. So, and my other argument is coming from her father. He's all for the white school. He wants to take her out immediately. His argument is, I guess, when she graduates, I guess the network of people that she will.
That don't mean nothing. I would disagree with him on that. I would disagree with him. The network of people, she's still black, and she's still going to suffer discrimination even at an excellent white school. At the end of the day, she's going to sell herself. She don't need the school's name to sell her. I went to 3 white colleges. I can't go to any of them for any recommendations because of what I stand for. They don't support Pan-African nationalism. So me having went to those white schools provided me no benefit whatsoever. UMAR Johnson had to sell UMAR Johnson. And your daughter's going to have to sell her own self. If she's a high achieving child, I don't care if she goes to the worst ghetto school in Connecticut or the best private school in Connecticut. If she has high test scores, if she can make the grade, if she can score, it don't matter what school she comes from, because when she goes to school, to college, they're all going to want them ACTs. They're all going to want them SATs. And it doesn't matter what school she went to. If she has the score, she's going to get the opportunity. So I disagree with him about the whole network piece. It's just like joining a fraternity or a sorority. If you didn't really make much of yourself, the fraternity and the sorority can bail you out a little bit. Those connections can help you. But guess what? If you're the best at what you do, if you're at the top of the class, you don't necessarily need need to belong to a fraternity or sorority to make it. So it ultimately comes down, to how well, we raise her and how well we see to it that she's educated. That white private school is not a necessity in her success. I would disagree with him on that.
Oh, thank you. I might have to take him to Hampton and have this discussion with him.
Definitely.
But,
you know what? Bring him. Can you? If you can, bring the father out to my lecture in Hamden on Thursday. Bring him out. Just let him hear me.
Where is it?
It's text me. I'm gonna give you my cell number. Text me, and I'm going to send you the flyer. It's at a banquet hall in Hamden. I don't have the address in front of me. My cell number is 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Last question.
All right.
Good morning.
Hold on. No, not last question on the call. Last question for my parent. Your daughter, is she richly melanated? Is she light-skinned? And the reason I'm asking you this is because if she's a richly melanated princess, I really wouldn't put her in that white private school. If she's light-skinned, it ain't going to be as bad, but I've noticed that the darker our children get, the more difficult time that they have in these white private schools.
No, she's lighter. Yeah, she's lighter.
Okay, she's a little lighter. So it won't be as hard on her, but you still got to deal with that whole psychological inferiority piece that's going to come by being surrounded with white folks who think they're God's gift to the earth. Again, it's going to come down to what options we have if we have to move her. That's what it'll come down. For me, that's what it would come down to. If I got options, if this doesn't work out, I might try it. If I don't have any options, then I think I might have to give Steve Perry another year.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot, sister. No problem.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Maryland.
Maryland. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask a question about ID.
About?
My question is ID, intellectual disability.
Okay. Yes.
I have a friend who has a child that is delayed. And my question, delayed according to the school and the test that they give.
What grade is the child? What grade is the child? What grade is the child?
The child is currently in the 4th grade, should be in the 5th grade.
What grade was the child when they evaluated? What grade was the child when they evaluated and said the child was intellectually disabled? What grade?
Kindergarten.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that they told you your child was intellectually disabled in kindergarten. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It wasn't my child. It was my friend's child.
Okay.
Yes. Since then, he was on an ID.
Okay, that's insane.
And my question to you, sir.
It's insane.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just said it's insane. Absolutely insane. But go ahead.
My question to you, sir, I started to help my friend by attending some of the IEP meetings because I had some experience with IEP meetings with my daughter. And I noticed that the Welsher scales and the different tests that they give the children produce the results of cognitive and adaptive behaviors. And I'm not really sure of all of that jargon. But my question is it possible that children can be diagnosed with intellectual disability, which from what I read is another way of saying mental retardation?
Yes.
Incorrectly. I honestly feel that because this child is delayed, it's because he had minimal help during the age that he needed it. And I feel that over time, when a child is not really worked with on those behaviors, when they're coming up 5, 6, and 7, 3, 4, and 5, that it could make them appear to have ID when they really don't. Is that off?
Okay. Do you have a pen? I need you to take a number down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to give you my fax number. I need the report. I need y'all to fax me or email the report. I'm going to give you the fax number followed by the email followed by my cell number so y'all can text me after it was sent. The fax number is 215-827 5404. 215-827 5404.
5404.
Yes. Okay. Email is Dr. Umar Johnson. DrUMAR. JOHNSON. Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com. No periods, no spaces.
Okay.
My cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Now, one of my policies as president of the National Independent Black Parent Association, whenever we have a parent anywhere on the planet Earth, because this problem goes on in Canada, Europe, and everywhere else, whenever our children are diagnosed or classified as intellectually disabled, and you are correct, it is formally known as mental retardation. Former President Barack Obama changed the name of the disability from mental retardation to intellectual disability, but it's the same thing. He made that change in 2008, 2009. Whenever our children are diagnosed with that, I demand to look at the report. I demand to review it, because the most stigmatizing label you can put on a black child in a racist environment like this is to say that they are retarded. It's the worst thing you can do. And black boys are 4 times as likely as white boys to be classified as intellectually disabled, retarded in the United States. 4 times as likely as white boys to be misdiagnosed as retarded. But let me tell you this. You mentioned the Wechsler scale, the Wechsler intelligence test. Well, guess what? I use the Wechsler intelligence test. And I want you to be very clear. It's not the tests that determines your child is disabled. No test makes any diagnosis. I want to make this very clear. There's no test that diagnoses you with autism. There's no test that diagnoses you with ADHD. There's no test that diagnoses you with a reading disability. There's no test that diagnoses you as intellectually disabled. We make the it is the person, it is the psychologist that gives out the diagnosis, not the tests. So even if the test score is low, it is the psychologist who can still interpret a low score to not be representative of that child's true level of intellectual functioning. So it's not the test, it's the person who did the testing. Now, you can tell his mom that she needs her fingernails pulled out, because no black parent, even with, and of course, I'm a little biased because this is my field of expertise, but I don't understand how we as black parents let our kids at 5 years old, why was he being tested for an intellectual disability at 5 or 6? That is ridiculous. Like, why did they give consent? Why was consent given for that?
From what I was told, it was due to the child being defiant in school. They weren't really paying attention. They weren't participating. They were delayed, I guess, compared to the peers in the classroom in reading. So with that constant defiant behavior towards the teachers, they decided to start doing the approach of IEP. They started testing him, and his cognitive and adaptive functions, or the scores, the intellectual functioning was low. And from kindergarten to first grade, they were having issues. And then they changed schools because the school kept calling the parent, your child is out of control. Then he changed schools. And then when he got to the next school, they put him in an isolated classroom.
But behavior has nothing to do with intelligence. Not to cut you off. Behavior has nothing to do with intelligence. If he was misbehaving, then you create a behavior plan. If that misbehavior has some sort of family dysfunction or emotional irregularity to it, then he get him some counseling. But Misbehaving has nothing to do with intellectual competence. You see, this is another classic case. This is another classic case of a misbehaving black boy being misdiagnosed as retarded to get him out of the classroom. That's all this was. Okay, unless there's something missing from this story, like he had a traumatic brain injury, or he was born with his frontal lobe underdeveloped, or he accidentally took some medication that significantly disrupted the cognitive development of his brain. Unless there's some sort of medical, biological experience or trauma that this boy went through early in life, this was absolutely insane. So I need to look at the eval. That's the next step. And if it looks like crap, and I can pretty much predict that it is, you're going to get with, and what state are you in again?
Maryland.
You're in Maryland. Okay, not too far from me. I'm in Philadelphia. Okay, what's going to happen is you're going to write a letter to the principal demanding an independent educational evaluation. An independent educational evaluation is a right that parents of special ed students have to get their child retested to determine whether or not the initial evaluation was accurate or not. So we're going to be requesting an independent educational eval, and you're going to contact the Association of Black Psychologists so we can find out who's going to do the testing for us, because we're not going to use a white person in this case, and we can get this reversed. And after we get it reversed, because he's been subject to a special miseducation for 3 years because they think he's retarded, the family is now entitled to compensatory education, which means the school district is going to have to put money in a trust fund in order to reverse the negative effects of this young man having been placed in a program receiving inferior education on a misdiagnosis. So we're going to reverse the diagnosis, and then we're going to get paid. Now, the money is not going to go into the parent's hand. The money is going to go into a trust fund, and the parent will be able to pay for counseling. Yes, pay for counseling, tutoring, a private school, whatever she deems necessary to counter the effects of this misdiagnosis. The good news is we caught it early. It's still been too long. 3 years is too long, but it's better than 10 years. It's better than 12 years, because I've had kids who've been misdiagnosed for 12 years as retarded. But my question to you is, you're the friend of the parent. Why are you making this call?
That's correct.
And why isn't the parent calling into me this morning? That's what I want to know.
In my honest opinion, to answer that question, sir, is that they are ashamed or embarrassed or
Okay.
nervous.
Okay. I
They
understand.
have gotten a lot better.
I can understand.
They do. I have definitely brought them to your teachings that I've seen, and they are starting to become more well versed. This child is significantly delayed from what I've seen.
Okay.
I'm not a professional, I'm not a psychologist
Okay.
or a teacher, but I mean, to be in the 4th grade level and can only be kindergarten.
But what you're telling me, though, what you're telling me, though, is those delays that we see may have been, quote unquote, culturally and socially imposed. And what I mean by that,
Yes.
poor preschool experiences, non-academic daycare experience, probably very low academic enrichment in the house, poor instruction in the school, probably goes to a school that hasn't made AYP in years, probably half the teachers leave every year, probably got the worst teachers. I mean, there's probably reasons to explain those delays.
Yes.
You would agree with that?
Yeah, most of the delays that I feel that I've seen are environmental factors.
Exactly.
They're not really like something that happened to him medically. So, no, sir, I'm not leaving out anything medically. I really think that he just didn't have the good coaching. And then also there was a period of time where, the family was just like, I don't know what to do. They just don't get it. And, they probably just didn't work with them after a certain point in time. So, so when I, noticed it and I came aboard, I just wanted to, speak to you and just to see if I was kind of off, because there are a lot of things that this child can do, but they don't display that when they get to school. So,
Right.
I do think that there's counseling there because they don't always speak. They also kind of display some behaviors of selective mutism, which a lot of people don't know anything about. They selectively choose when they want to participate in certain conversations and things of that nature. So there's definitely some intervention that's needed. I just don't really know what to tell my friends. You know what I mean?
Got you. No problem. So let's get on that. Get that report. Fax it to me. Text me. Doc. We faxed it or we emailed it, either way. And if you faxed it, I need to know the area code that it was faxed from. So the report was faxed from area code 412, for example, and the child's name is so-and-so. So I know who I'm looking for. And if you email it, it was emailed, child's name is so-and-so, and it was sent from this email address. I'm going to look at the report, and then we're going to have a conversation. But I want to commend you. I want to commend you for caring enough to call in today. Because had you not made this call, that young man could have spent the rest of his life being subject to being called retarded, thinking he's retarded. And I'm going to tell you, I've had cases of black boys and girls who've been told that they were retarded for 12 years. And even after they find out they're not, they still believe it because it's a conditioning. It's a conditioning. Information doesn't change conditioning. When you're conditioned to believe you are inferior, you cannot change that just by somebody telling you you're not. So I'm glad you caught this when you caught it. You know, it's a damn shame. And this is no problem. So I look forward to getting that report and helping you guys work through this situation.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Before I go to the next question, someone asked me, what is the call-in number? The call-in number is 857-232-0158, 857-232-0158, and the access code is 870-864-POUND, 870-864-POUND. Dr. Umar Johnson will be speaking in Trenton, New Jersey this Sunday, this Sunday, the 15th of October. I will be speaking in Hamden, Connecticut, next Thursday, October the 19th. I will be speaking in Columbus, Ohio, next Saturday, October the 21st. I will be speaking in Nashville, Tennessee, Friday, November the 10th. I will be speaking in Long Beach, California, for the Black Consciousness Conference at California State University, Long Beach, on Saturday, October the 18th. I will be in Atlanta, Georgia, the third day of Kwanzaa, Thursday, December the 28th, at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, 6 o'clock. Atlanta, December the 28th, Shrine of the Black Madonna. I will be in Houston, Texas, Shrine of the Black Madonna, Saturday, December the 30th, Houston, Texas, Shrine of the Black Madonna. Detroit, Michigan, January the 1st, last day of Kwanzaa, Detroit, Michigan, January the 1st, 2018. Tickets for Trenton, you have to call or pay at the door. Tickets for Trenton and Long Beach, you have to call or pay at the door. Tickets for Hamden, tickets for Columbus, tickets for Nashville, tickets for Atlanta, tickets for Houston, tickets for Detroit. You can get those at princeofpanafricanism.eventbrite.com, princeofpanafricanism.eventbrite.com. I still have to upload the tickets for Atlanta and Nashville. I will have that up by the end of the week. Who has all that feedback on my call? Take it off of speaker and put it on mute. Thank you. We have to do something about this feedback. Okay, who has the next question? Next question.
Dr. Umar?
Yes, ma'am. Where are you calling from?
Tallahassee, Florida. Me and my husband got to meet you when you were in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
A week ago. Yeah, but I have a question since we do have a high schooler and younger ones, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't become the over-fluttering mother because he's super laid back and very intelligent, and I also don't want to, keep him in, or hold him back from, being able to make little mistakes or venturing out because he is becoming subconscious too and aware just about who he is, about becoming a black man. But we were a little late in the game. So he's a senior this year, so I think I'm a little bit nervous about him wanting to go to college, and just, because he's predominantly white school. So any advice on things I should consider, things we should be doing?
Okay. Now give me that again. He's at a predominantly white school. What grade is he in?
He's a senior.
He's a senior. And you want to give me that piece again.
I guess I just want him to make sure that we are done right as being a parent of, a young man, a young black man. Just making sure that we, with the phones, or, like I said, his grades he's consistent A, B, and, we'll see C's in here and C's in there, but, he'll pick them up. He's consistent with his homework and things like that. Chores, I don't have no complaints. And I think I over-concern myself because he don't go out and hang out. He is okay with coming home. He'll say every now and again, hey, I'm going to go hang out with some friends, and we said it, and say, yeah, go ahead and hang out. But it's not like maybe once a month.
Okay. Well, if we don't see any concerns, we don't want to make any. Has he expressed any concerns?
No,
I think y'all should speak with him, though. I think y'all should. Is he?
He is doing something he's supposed to do, like was he having a house party? So I think he kind of, I don't think he got upset, but he was just kind of like, oh man, like my other friends are having parties and doing stuff that close to grown folks are doing.
Okay. I got you.
I'm just trying to find a line where I'm trying to be over smothering and also help him prepare for the fact that he's getting ready to graduate and he got decisions to make on whether he wants to go to college, whether he wants to, investigate other areas. I just want to know, like, my position, what should I do more to keep him continue to pass when he's out of the home?
Got you. Anything in particular that's concerning you guys, though?
Just like I said, like he has a group of friends. Most of them have already graduated, so they're out either living on their own or they still live with their parents, but they have a lot of freedom.
Right.
So
but
my only concern is that he don't socialize outside of school as much. And I don't want it to be because he thinks, well, my mom ain't, gonna go for that, based on whatever may be going on.
I got to think on that one. Because now, okay, you're saying he doesn't socialize as much as you think he should out.
I guess what I would consider to be, I'm also just becoming aware, like I just started listening and following you this summer. So a lot of these things I was blind to, that are going on around us in the world and just on a systematically as well.
Yes.
So, he's becoming conscious as well too. So even with going to college, I said, let's make sure that we are learning everything there is to know about, whether it's oppression or opposition, anything that we need to learn. That way you can have the best experience and that you're not wasting time.
Got you. Yeah, I would just continue to talk with him about it, but it's not really seeming like it's a clear and present issue, but I would talk with him about it to make sure it's not an issue,
Okay. And are you still doing, I know you did this past summer, something with the teen boys. Is that something that you'll be doing again?
Definitely. He'll definitely be able to do that this summer. In fact, I'm going to start working on that soon because I'm going to let the parents pay ahead of time so you guys don't have to pay it all at once. Payment plan for the Black College and Consciousness Tour. We're definitely going to do the Black College and Consciousness Tour. And he'll be able.
That'll probably ease my mind.
Definitely. No problem at all. And where y'all based at again?
So much for everything that you do.
No problem. And where y'all based at again, Queen?
Sorry?
Where y'all based at? Tallahassee, Florida. Okay. Yeah, no problem. We'd love to have him for that. We'd love to have him for that.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Umar.
Thanks a lot, Queen. Is there another question on the call?
Yes.
Go right ahead. Where you calling from, my brother?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee. Go right ahead.
Yes, good morning. Let me start out by saying I've been following you for years, on top of years. I think you are the truth, not only in theory but in practice. Also, I've modeled my household around your theories and the ideas. Now to my question and concern. I have a 6-year-old nephew who, make a long story short, he went from school to school. They complained that he was a problem. He's been 3 years in school. The first 2 schools, I know he missed a lot of school, especially last year. I know he missed a lot of school from not behaving in the classroom. He's at a new school this year, and the problem is persistent. Personally, as a man, I don't see him doing anything more than what a normal boy is supposed to do. He's kindergarten, first grade, as I'm going to say. He's first grade, and they're saying that, kind of like your last call, or your last call before her, he can't read, he's not intellectually doing problems, he can't stay on task. And I guess my question is what do I do as the uncle? I have kind of taken this case over. Not the greatest mom, but he does have a support system. Not only me, but he has other family members who care about him dearly. What do we do and where do we start?
Okay. What grade is he in?
He's first grade.
Okay, he's not in special ed, correct?
He has an IEP.
That means he's special ed. If he has an IEP, he's special ed. What is the IEP for? Reading disability, ADHD, emotional disturbance? What they saying?
For speech. His IEP was for speech.
Okay, speech only. So is it speech only?
Look,
Is it speech only?
concerning IEP, originally it was for speech. But this year, the teacher or the person at the school board had suggested to his mom that he has another IEP for the behavior and for the educational part. And I told her not to do that just yet.
You were correct.
And see what you said.
You were correct. Just like I told the previous parent, he's in the first grade. Why would you let them evaluate for anything more than speech? Speech is fine, because if he got a speech issue, we can hear that, we can know that, and he could need that. So speech is not an issue. But now they want him to be reevaluated so they can say he got a learning disabled, or say he's retarded, or, ask y'all to go get him an ADHD diagnosis and bring that back. So now they can say he has a other health impairment. And no, we should not be doing that. They're trying to load up on that kid. They're doing the same thing to him they just did to that other kid we talked about. Y'all should refuse that. If he got problems with reading and math, then y'all should get him a tutor, or y'all could tutor him yourself. That's all he needs. Tutoring is more effective than special ed. Tutoring is way more effective than special ed. So I would tell his mom, we going to tutor him. And as far as the behavior go, let me give you this piece, though, and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay, hold on. Who that background? Is that you, my brother, with that background noise?
No, that's not.
Okay, I need y'all to mute your phones. Okay, so as far as the behavior piece go, okay, I would want to know what is the teacher doing in the classroom to deal with behavior, but also you guys may have to hire someone to go into the classroom and observe your nephew to see whether or not the teacher's complaints are accurate or whether they're being exaggerated. Teachers exaggerate. Humans exaggerate. It's part of human nature. When we get under the influence of emotion, we can exaggerate things. So we need to make sure that what she's saying is true, which means that you guys may have to hire a school psychologist, a counselor, a social worker, a behavior specialist to go into the class and watch him, observe him 3 different days, 3 different times under 3 different contexts. So week 1 might be Monday, 8 o'clock math. Week 2 might be Wednesday, 12 o'clock reading. Week 3 might be Friday, 2 o'clock social studies, because I don't want y'all trusting what the teacher said. You want to get your own information. You're saying he's a problem. Well, guess what? Here's a professional who's coming in to observe, to give us, because you're never going to tell them we're doing this to make sure you're not lying. You're going to say we have them coming in to give us some recommendations for how you as the teacher and we as the parent can work together to better help him. And in order for this professional to do that, they have to observe him. So that's how you're going to neutralize that. And that person might come back and say, I didn't see nothing she talking about. Or they might come back and say, he got a little bit of problem, but it ain't as bad as she's saying. Or they might come back and say, hey, you know why his behavior is like this? Because that kid sitting next to him is the one triggering the behavior. Your son is not the worst kid in that class. It's 3 kids way worse than him. That's who they need to be focusing on, because it's their behavior that's influencing your nephew. In other words, they're going to give you a lot of background info on what's going on in that classroom that you could never know on your own. Okay, so y'all may have to do that. And it's not expensive. It's not expensive. You get a social worker, somebody, you might pay them, you know, $30 a session. You only need 3 observations. 3 one-hour observations is all you need. So y'all should spend no more than $200, $300 maximum for that. You know, so that's what you do on the behavioral side. On the eval side, we don't need your special ed. We're going to tutor him. And see, what I don't like about this, what I really don't like about this is it shows you how quick the quote-unquote system is to give up on our children. 1st grade, you're putting a 1st grader in he just started school. He only been in school for kindergarten, and you're already so you're basically saying that there's nothing we can do to teach this child in the regular classroom. We got to put him in special ed. That's insane. They're telling us through your what they're doing with your nephew. They don't care about him, us, or no other black child. I would be embarrassed as a principal. Even if I wasn't UMAR Johnson, I would be embarrassed to tell a parent that we've already given up on your nephew. We got to put him in special ed. That's the only hope. At 6 years old. That's a goddamn shame. But go ahead, my brother. You still there, my brother? Is anybody on the line? Did I just lose him, or did I lose everybody? Uh-oh. Let me hang up and call back in. The FBI might be pulling another one of their tricks. Let me see here. My phone just blacked out. Something really weird is going on. That might be part of that new FBI report. Black identity extremists. Okay, what's going on? Calling back in again. That's real crazy. That the call would just go out like that. It didn't even drop. It just went out.
Digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code. If you are not the host, please press the star key. We will now connect you to your call. There are 16 attendees in this conference. The host has joined the conference.
Okay, I'm back, family. That was the FBI. You still there, my brother? My brother from Milwaukee, you still there? Did we lose him? The last caller, the uncle. The uncle. Are you still there? Okay,
I think you might have to call back. I have to call back in to get reconnected.
Okay, so maybe free conference call. Maybe it only lasts 4 hours, and I guess they might hang you up
Hang up.
after 4 hours.
Oh.
Okay. The uncle, you back
Yeah,
yet?
I've been here the whole 4 too. I didn't get lost.
Okay, you still there, uncle? Okay, the uncle gone. That's okay. Everybody mute your phone. We'll take the next caller till he calls back in. But parents, please, 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 aunts and uncles, tell your brothers and sisters who you know ain't on a job. Stop letting 5, 6, and 7-year-old kids get evaluated for learning disabilities, ADHD, and retardation. You don't do that. You never do that. Speech, okay. Autism, maybe. Okay? Learning disabilities, retardation, and ADHD, you cannot prove those at an age that young. You cannot prove those at an age that young. Next question.
They proved, they said that my son was ADHD when he was in kindergarten. It took me a long time to accept it. Then we moved out to the suburbs. Then they evaluated him again and said he was. Finally, really accepted it. So now he's 14. So of course, I get the check. So they denied him with the check, but it wasn't about the check. Now, since I'm an educated parent for these years, I said it's not about the money. It's about the resources that he needs. Y'all evaluated him. Y'all said he did. So let's go. Why would y'all all of a sudden stop and say he's okay when he's not okay, or per se not okay, for what they program my brain to know, of his actions in school and everything. So now I evaluate him downtown in Chicago. I evaluated him the first time they denied him. Okay, so I appealed it. So I had my next evaluation for Nasir last week or something like that. We get there. She said, okay, I'm going to test him. Go ahead, go bring him in the room and do some schooling, testing. I said, okay. Sat out there for about 25 minutes. She called me back in there. She said, oh, did you notice that Nasir makes these noises with his mouth, with his voice? And I'm like, yeah, he's been doing that since he was a baby. She said, and he twitches, like he ticks, and I said, well, I vaguely see that. Sometimes I see that, but not as often. But I know he's been making a sound since he was little. I jump up, and he outside. I'm like, what's that noise? What's that noise? So anyway, to make a long story short, brothers and sisters, they diagnosed my son with mild Tourette's. So I said, okay, let me Google something. I don't know if I was going to write Google, whatever, because you know how Google could take you. So the symptoms was like twirling around, not staying still, and then it kind of went into ADHD. And I'm like, okay, so how does ADHD connect with Tourette's? So I got lost from there. And then I went to the IEP the other day. So I'm totally confused. And I asked the people, who can I bring in to stand with me to advocate? Because I'm being educated. Now I got a whole other thing on my brain. Now my son has a mild Tourette's. He's in the 8th grade. They said that he needed ADHD for services, so he'll be able to adapt by the time he gets to 8th grade, going into high school. So now I'm like, okay, so I'm been standing. I'm his advocate all day to the last hour. But at the same time, who can I get to stand with me for me to get more educated on, okay, how come they didn't see that long time ago? Who do I trust? I'm listening to Dr. UMAR, but who do I trust? I'm getting educated on. Now I have to educate Nasir. He has to educate himself. He said, oh, mommy, I got another disability. I'm like, Nasir, let's just get educated on it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that goes into more behavior and things like that. So what do y'all think, long story short? Because I know Dr. Umar is still on.
Yes, I'm still on. I'm here. I'm here. Now, what grade is the kid?
He's in the 8th grade.
Okay, first of all, whenever somebody tell you somebody got something that's mild ADHD, mild mental retardation, mild Tourette's, mild reading problem, whenever you hear the word mild, that means they barely qualified in the first place. Whenever you hear the word mild, that means they might not have the problem at all. Whenever you hear the word mild, you should automatically suspect a misdiagnosis. Whenever you hear the word mild, you should automatically suspect a misdiagnosis. Now, okay, he could have the Tourette's, maybe, but from an educational standpoint, they're going to have, in order to special educate him for Tourette's, which could only fall under other health impairment, which is one of the 13 special ed disabilities, they would have to prove how that Tourette's is affecting his learning. If having Tourette's is not affecting his learning, and I don't see how it could be, then there's no need for a special ed conversation. There's no need for an IEP. Now, you said they diagnosed it with Tourette's, they diagnosed it with the ADHD. Now, first of all, Tourette's and ADHD, they both have that hyperactivity in common. They both have that controlling behavior, that uncontrollable behavior. Because Tourette's, to some extent, is uncontrollable. ADHD, theoretically, the child can't control their behavior. There's some overlap, which tells me that it could be one or the other, but not both, if you follow what I'm saying. Whenever you have two disabilities that are so similar, it could be one or the other, but it doesn't likely have to be both. You know, it's like somebody being diagnosed as depressed and anxiety. Well, a lot of the symptoms of depression are accounted for in anxiety, and a lot of symptoms of anxiety are accounted for in the depression. So do they need two separate diagnoses, or are you just trying to load up on my son to make sure you can get him in special ed for something? You see that? Or are you trying to load up on my son to make sure you can get him in special ed for something? In other words, if I can't get him in for this, I'm going to get him in for that. But you have to take responsibility for letting them test him in the first place. Okay? They cannot evaluate unless you give permission. You sign paperwork. Don't sign no paperwork if you don't agree with what they want to do. Now, he's in the 8th grade. He's old enough to answer for himself. Does he think he needs special ed? Because if it was me talking to your son, I'm going to come at him straight. Listen, they think you slow. If you don't think you slow, you better start proving it in your classwork. Because if you don't pass these classes, if you don't get at least a C or a B minus the next marking period, I'm going to let them put you in special ed. I would be real straight with my son. If you don't want to be in that special class, if you don't want to ride on that special bus, you better show me something this report card period. If them grades ain't what I need, you're going in special ed. I would straight threaten him with it. If you're sure he don't have an issue and you know that this is motivation and effort and poor education, which is what it is most of the time, I would go ahead and I would put him on the spot. I would, if it was my child, I know ain't nothing wrong with my child, and I know all this is a bunch of nonsense because he ain't acting right or doing what he need to do, I'm going straight checking. The next report card, if it ain't what it need to be, you going in that special class.
And he's been telling me, like, we just had the IEP meeting, and he just was telling me, Mommy, I'm going to come to the meeting. I'm going to tell him I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in it. So now he's at that age where he's really expressing himself like, I don't want to be in it. He's getting very good grades now. Betty Shabazz helped him down here, but that's another story. But
where you at? New York? New York?
He's been doing great with, I'm in Chicago.
Okay.
I'm in Chicago, doctor.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying, Queen.
So he's been telling me that he don't want to be in it. He don't want to be in it, but I'm glad you brought that up by saying, put him on the spot, get some good grades, show that you can sit down and do what you need to do.
Right. Because you're not seeing no learning problems, right? You're not seeing no learning problems with your son, correct? It's all behavior?
The learning problems is, well, when they first diagnosed him with ADHD, it was the reading and the math, amongst, not sitting still, with, focusing and everything like that. But it was the reading and the math. So now they're saying he on a, 5th grade reading level and the 6th grade math level. And
but that's not that far behind. Listen to me. And I want everybody,
right,
hold on, listen to me.
First thing they said was his reading disability, his math. I said, I'm focused on his reading and his math. Where is he at right now?
Right. Listen to me, though. Listen to me.
Yes,
I want everybody to hear this. Whenever they tell you your child is 2 or 3 grades below their class, I need you to keep in mind that most black children, because of miseducation, are 2 grades below their class. So if my child is in 8th grade, you tell me his reading is on the 6th. It's good news and it's bad news. It's bad news because he's 2 grades behind. It's good news because I know most of your kids are 2 grades behind, and I know my son has the basic skills to improve at home if I work with him. So that's where you kick in that. Because if he's on the 6th, he basically has the basics to improve. If you can read on the 6th grade level and comprehend on the 6th grade level, you have the basics to go forward. Now it's you as parent to make him put that work in at home, that practice, or get him a tutor, a college student or a high school student or a retired teacher who will work with your son.
Yeah, we've been to the university. I definitely will look into that.
That's all you need. All you need is some tutoring.
Okay.
And some consequences, okay? Because that cell phone, he can lose that. I don't get my grades, you don't get your cell phone. See, this is all about a deal. Make a deal. We signing a contract. I want grades.
I told him this morning I'm going to take his phone. I know security reasons in Chicago, but I'm about to take your phone. You could run with the government phone.
That's right. That's right. That's how we're going to do that. We have a contract. If I don't have my grades At the end of this marking period, you will not have a cell phone next marking period. And the only way you're going to get it back is the following marking period to get them grades, and then you get your phone back the next marking period. We got to start signing contracts with our children so that you can say, hey, you signed it, son. You signed the contract. That's what the consequence is. And then you can also come back and say, if you do get the grades, there's going to be a little reward in it for you. You wanted to visit your cousin down in Florida. He moved away. Okay. I'm going to fly you down to Florida for a weekend and hang out with your favorite cousin. You know, stay away from money, stay away from expensive gifts, find other more creative ways to reward our children.
Okay, I appreciate that.
No problem.
I needed that this morning. Thank you so much, brother. All peace and blessings to you, sir.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. And I'll be back in Chicago speaking in January. I'm just waiting for the church to give me the date.
Okay, I'll keep us posted. Keep us posted. Be in the building.
And Chicago not out the hunt for the school too. Chicago is not out the hunt. I got a realtor up there. He found one school for me. There's a church in Chicago that's renting out the school portion of the church. The problem is they need the church. They need the school. Okay, the school shares the cafeteria in the gymnasium with the church, which isn't a problem in and of itself. But the realtor told me that the church needs the school in the evening and on the weekend. And I said, there's no way I can have a school that I can't use after 5 o'clock or on Saturday and Sunday, because my school concept, you know, we got after school, before school, we got weekend academy, we got rites of passage. We ain't no 5 days, 35-hour a week school. I need, if I'm paying this money to rent this school, I need full access. And with the one school we had in Chicago, it didn't happen because the church needs us going by 5 o'clock every day. And I just can't agree to something like that. But he said he has a few other schools for me to look at in Chicago. So we're going to see what happens.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that, because I was about to say, it's a lot of realty out here, brother. It's a lot of realty out here. It's a lot of being in buildings and stuff like that on the south side. It's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Got you. And if you see in these schools when you're driving that are for sale with a for sale sign on it, if you catch a school with a for sale sign on it, take a picture of that for me and send it to me.
No doubt.
Okay, Queen. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right now. Is there another question on the call?
Real quick.
Yes, sir. Where you calling from, my brother? Where you calling from? Calling from where?
It's the same brother from Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to get that information of you said the Independent Black Teachers Association?
NIBPA, National Independent Black Parent Association.
National
Independent
Black Parent?
Independent Black Parent, NIBPA, National Independent. Mute your phones, family. Mute your phones. Mute your phones. Somebody just got on the call with some background noise. Mute that phone. National Independent Black Parent Association.
All right.
And that's me. That's my organization. That's me. And we'll be having our next training in January, and it's probably going to be in Georgia or Florida, so you might be very close to it.
All right, but just repeat it for me one more time.
Sure. NIBPA, National Independent Black Parent Association.
All right. Appreciate that. And you have a chapter over here in South Florida, or you just
South Florida. I do have a brother working on a chapter down there. I could put you in touch with him. I could put you in touch with him. He's not in Fort Lauderdale. He's about an hour away. One of those beaches, Delray Beach, or one of those.
Yeah, I think Petersburg. He's in the juvenile system. You know, speaking out there.
Nah. I spoke out there, but nah. He's not in the parent association yet. We expected him to come in though, but not. Nah, it's another brother who was at the Detroit training in June.
All right. Okay, that's all I need to know. And I can find this online, right?
You can get it from me. Just text me. 215-989-9858. Text me, and what I'll do is I'll lock you in, and once I have the info, I'll just send it to you.
So
9858.
985. I appreciate you, brother.
Got you. No problem.
Please, blessings.
Thanks a lot, bro. Is there another question on the call this morning?
Good morning, Dr. UMAR.
Good morning, Queen. Where you calling from?
In Vero Beach, Florida.
Yes, ma'am. Go right
I
ahead.
was at your speaking engagement in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I have a question. This evening at 6 o'clock, our county school board is going to host their school board meeting, and we're having like a sit-in because, as I mentioned to you before, the problem in the Indian River County, we're supposedly the number one most segregated county in Florida. And if you remember, we got an issue with the Confederate flag.
Uh-huh.
Students at the high school parading the Confederate flag, intimidating, other students. And today we're going to, go to the school board meeting and address some of the issues. We've been addressing the issue, but just, before we end this call, what type of action plan would you say that we need to do to address this issue?
And this is specifically about the flag? Or something else?
Flag, yeah, the wearing of the Confederate flag.
Oh, yes. The students, predominantly white or predominantly black?
The school is predominantly white school.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. You cannot wear, children have freedom of expression, including clothing, but you can't wear anything that disrupts the educational process. White kids wearing a Confederate flag in school, that's racist towards black people. Confederate flag represents slavery. Confederate flag represents genocide. Confederate flag represents dehumanization. Confederate flag represents mass murder for black people. You and the other black parents are going to argue that letting white kids wear the Confederate flag at that public school violates your child's right, okay, to attend a school that is safe for them, okay? The First Amendment does cover freedom of speech. It does not cover speech that is hateful towards other children and disrupts their learning experience. That's what y'all going to argue, and y'all will win if y'all stick together. But you need to have all the parents on the same page. If it's only a couple of y'all, it's not going to work. Okay, you need organized black parents. It needs to be a movement. Y'all need to have 100 of y'all. Y'all got to come out in force. It's not going to carry if y'all don't come out in force. If you only got 2 black parents and the rest of them don't care, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you said violates my child right to what now?
Okay, the First Amendment. The First Amendment rights, freedom of expression, which includes clothing. That right is protected in the school. But the Supreme Court says, because it is a school, they can still control that freedom of expression because it is a school. So yes, you can wear, your different clothing. But your clothing cannot offend other children. It cannot disrupt the educational process for other children. And that's what you all are going to argue. In fact, y'all need to put a letter together. Y'all need to put a letter together explaining your concerns, and y'all need to have a petition attached to that letter, and every black parent who signs that petition needs to show up at the meeting with that letter. Y'all have to come out in force. Y'all have to show power. You can't change power unless you have power.
Right. Yeah, we've been pushing it, pushing it on Facebook and,
But do y'all have the petition? Do y'all have the petition? And do y'all have that letter? And did every parent sign it? It got to be organized. It got to be on paper. Facebook is good. That gets the word out. But now they got to show up.
Hello?
Yes.
Is this Dr. Umar?
Yes. Hold on 1 second. The parent I was talking to, are you still there? Florida. You still there with the flag? Okay. I guess I lost her. Go ahead, sister. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. I will be in Nashville, Tennessee, speaking on Friday, November the 10th. Go right ahead.
Yes, Dr. UMAR, I have a daughter. She's 8 years old. She's been dealing with a speech problem ever since she's been born. And it's like she's very behind in her reading. It gets very, I get very discouraged because I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over for like practicing with her. And like, what else can I do to better my child? Because it's very stressful for me.
Okay, you said she has a speech impairment and she's struggling with reading. Is she struggling with reading or is she just struggling with... Say that again?
I said she's struggling with reading very bad, Dr. UMAR.
But is she struggling with being able to read or is she struggling with being able to recite? In other words, I can read without talking. If your daughter reads without talking, is she okay? In other words, we have to separate her reading ability from her speech impairment. In other words, she probably can't read aloud, but can she read silently? Or does she even have a problem with reading silently?
Yes, she has a problem with that too. Like she's able to do just like small words. And it's like, you know, I'm doing the flashcards. Like,
what grade? What grade?
I think that I can do.
What grade?
And that's the other thing. My daughter, she's in the 2nd grade, and she's supposed to be in the 3rd grade.
Yeah, but she's young. She's young, which means you got to work with her more. You have to. She's a baby. I would argue that she probably simply didn't get her basics. That's all this sounds like to me. It could be more. Okay, but normally when I get this type of situation, having not saw your child, it normally means she didn't get the preschool experience she should have got. She didn't get the early academic enrichment at home, possibly, that she shouldn't have got. Daycare probably was all about toys and TV. No academic there. Your daughter didn't have a strong foundation. So you're starting from scratch, but she can catch up if you work with her. Okay? Phonics, the letters, you know, the small words. You're going to have to put the work in. If you rely on the school, she'll never catch up. If you rely on the school to do this, she'll never catch up. 2nd grade, I have total faith that you can get her up to grade level. You got to work with her. Positive encouragement, build her self-esteem. Reading is very much associated with self-esteem. Okay, so you have to encourage her. Good job, good job, good job. Watch the critical talk. Okay. Also, the speech pathologist, make sure the speech pathologist is working with your child as well. I suspect that she feels a little insecure about her speech problem and it's affecting her reading confidence. Her speech problem is affecting her reading confidence. She is way too young, in my opinion, for us to be looking at anything other than working with her more. She needs more time on task, repetition. Repetition, them letters, those words, make sure she can sound out every letter, start putting them together, C and A and B and C, A and B, that's cab and BAC is back. Drill her, go hard, reinforce her, get a tutor, you know, if you don't have the time, because you might have to work, so be it, get her a tutor. Do not leave it up to the school. Too often our parents, not you, this is not you, but too often our parents are so lazy that they never think that it is my job to close this gap. Your daughter is in a race. She's going around the track. Okay. She started in the race slow. All the other kids are ahead of her. So you have to coach her to catch up. And at 2nd grade, there's no reason why she shouldn't finish this school year on grade level, because 2nd grade, you know, grade level expectation for a 2nd grader is knowing your letters, being able to put them together, knowing your syllables, your sounds, and your, 3 to 5 letter words. That's 2nd grade, so you just got to work with her more. You got to work with her more, or sometimes we have to recognize that we're not the best person to tutor our kids. Let me say that again. Sometimes we have to recognize that we are not the best person to tutor our children. Okay. If your expectations are too high, you're not the person. If you're kind of critical with your tongue, you're not the person. Because I've seen parents destroy their kids' self-esteem by working with them at that kitchen table. That kitchen table can be one hell of an experience for a child who got a parent with a very condemnatory tongue. So you might got to pass her off to somebody else.
Right. Dr. UMAR, thank you so much.
No problem, sis. Good luck.
Hi, Dr. UMAR.
Yes, ma'am. Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Thomasine. I'm calling from New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yes, ma'am. I'll be in Trenton on Sunday, New Haven, Connecticut next Thursday. Go right ahead.
Okay. the teleconference and also be able to speak and ask questions on any concerns that the parents are having. I've been listening the whole time, and this has been very helpful to me. And at the same time, I feel kind of bad because my son is in 8th grade now, but he was experiencing behavioral issues from what the kindergarten teacher said in kindergarten. I was constantly getting calls home about him misbehaving in kindergarten. And also, I noticed, too, that he was having a challenge making friends. So I started Googling, how to help my son to make friends so he wouldn't be a loner. And the thing that kept popping up was ADHD or ADD. And I said, oh, no, my son couldn't possibly have that. So I kept researching. And that was the thing that kept popping up all the time. So, and then when I decided to look into it, and I looked at the signs and symptoms, and I realized that some of the signs and symptoms that was listed, I kind of saw in him. So I spoke to his pediatrician, who's a very good doctor, and she gave me referrals for him to go to neurologist and have other testing done just to rule thing out. And when he was diagnosed with ADHD at 6 years old, and they said it was extremely mild, and it never really affected his learning. He reads a grade level, and he was getting all A's and B's early on, and it just saddens me to hear now for you to say that it's a possibility he could have been misdiagnosed. And one of the things I researched when a child is diagnosed, that you should educate your child, and that's what I did. I tried to educate him, and now I feel bad the fact that I still share that information with him when he could have possibly been misdiagnosed. Now here it is, he's in 8th grade. I have him evaluated every 3 years so he can service to school. He has a 504 plan that I fought tooth and nail for him to get all the accommodations that I wanted. And from what the school tells him, we never suited these many accommodations on the 504 plan. We went over and beyond for your child. So now here it is. Like I said, my son is in 8th grade, and he believes the things that I educated him about. And now I kind of feel like he uses it as a crutch for instance, I was upset with him yesterday. He had homework that he had to do over the 4-day weekend, and so we spent all day doing it because we had to do a report and other things. So then I needed to go to food shop, and I said to him, well, you know what, I'm going to go food shop because it's getting late, and it's getting late, and I need to get some food in the house. I was trying to wait for him so he can go with me. So I went out and went food shopping. I was gone for about 4.5 hours because I had other errands to run. I come back. Now, mind you, he had an essay that I checked. I made sure he had a transitional word there, make sure everything was spelled right. It was flowing, and he had a punctuation. All he had to do was rewrite it. I come home, and he's still writing it. And I said to him, I've been going for 4.5 hours. What were you doing? And the first thing he says to me, well, I write slow. I have ADHD. And I said, there's no way. I said, all you had to do is write the paragraph. It was the three paragraphs over. There's no way that I should have took this long. So now I feel like he's using, I think he's using this as a crutch. Because when he's been educated, plus they're educating the 8th graders in the school, the first semester of school, and I feel like he uses it as a crutch where I really feel it's like the lack of motivation.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely using it as a crutch. That's one of the down things of the whole ADHD movement, but also you have to step up with the consequences that you're using at home for discipline. So when he, for example, you came home, he wasn't done his work. What was the consequence for that?
Well, I took everything away. I took his controls away, took his PS4, I took his cell phone away, I took his laptop away. I took those things away yesterday. I said there's no excuse. I said I reviewed your essay before I left. All you had to do was rewrite it over. There's no way that it took 4.5 hours to write over. So he got up and he started crying, and I feel like he's playing me. He started crying. He's like, no, I worked very hard, and this, that, and I said, that's all you got to do. You still have 3 other assignments you have to do, and it's 10 o'clock at night now.
Okay, and
so I told him, I said, you know what, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, so I told him, I said, you know what, you're going to have to do this. You're going to
you're going to school with your work complete. You're gonna have to do this right. I said, I don't care how late you stay up, and I said you still get up to 2 o'clock in the morning to go to school. So I don't know if I was wrong for that. But I just really feel like he's using this whole ADHD as a crutch. And then at the beginning of school, about 3 weeks ago, I had him reevaluated for everything. He was initially diagnosed with ADHD, auditory processing delay, visual perception delay, and sensory delay. I had him evaluated for the last month, and they said that, oh, well, he's drastically improved, and that we don't see any reason for him to have, have any treatment. He doesn't need any treatment. So they did, I usually go to Children's Specialist Hospital to get him probably evaluated. They recommended no treatment there, and they didn't recommend any treatment in the school.
Okay, and that was treatment for the ADHD?
So auditory process delay, visual perception delay.
Okay, for the
sensory delay. So
okay.
At one point, he was getting OT, speech, and PT.
Okay, and do you agree with that?
As far as the speech is concerned, I definitely do agree with that. It was actually more pragmatic anyway. I mean, he's a fluent reader. He has a great vocabulary. He's an excellent speller, and that's due to me working with him a lot when he was younger.
Okay.
Working with him through over the years. But the only thing I think that I disagree with is I guess it would be the OT for sensory delay because he has weak upper body strength.
Okay. Okay, because whatever you disagree with, make sure you fight for that, because you can appeal any decision that they make.
Right. But I think for the most part, I think it's just due to lack of motivation. And I used to work with my son a lot, and I've kind of slowed down within the last 2 years because he doesn't seem like he has the motivation, and it has become an argument. And I was listening to you earlier, if you're the parent that has high expectations, or if you're the parent that that is trying to be critical of your child, then you don't need to work with them. And I can honestly admit that I fit that criteria when it comes to them. So now I feel like I do need to bring someone else in, to help him with his math, because he needs help with math. I'm not that good at math myself. I went to college and I pushed my math class off to my last year in college.
Gotcha.
So I definitely need to get a tutor for him when it comes to math. But the problem is, right now I'm unemployed, and so I'm not in a position to afford to pay for a tutor.
Gotcha.
And we bump heads when I try to work with him.
Gotcha.
And mainly because he doesn't want to do it. He complains about, I'm like, okay, let's go start your math. We'll put up Khan Academy on the computer, and it's always complete, and then it winds up to be just like an argument, because I'm trying to help him, and I keep explaining to him that I'm trying to help you. You want to be a computer programmer. You have to understand that.
I got you. It sounds like you're on the right track, though.
I don't know.
It sounds like you're on the right track.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm just like, I guess I feel like we're bumping heads right now, and I need to get another person. I can't get another person in because I'm not in a position to pay anyone. There's college right now too far for me, the university I can go to and ask a student there to get tutored my son. So I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know what else to do to try to motivate him. I constantly talk about education, important education. I've been drawing it in terms of he was young. When we ride by people that, I try to educate him and use it as a teacher moment. Like there was one time, there was a guy that was homeless, and he said to my son, make sure you're in school and get education so you don't have to be like I am.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess my question is, like, what can I do to work with my son to help motivate him, but not always clashing?
Okay. The clashing is no need to argue, no need to negotiate. You're the parent. The way you do this is with behavior, which means you have to stop the conversations and you have to start administering the consequences and the rewards. That's what this is about. You sit them down. This is the new behavior plan. Put the chart up there. When you don't do what you're supposed to do, this is what happens. We don't need to have no conversation about it because I'm telling you up front. See, we have to give our kids informed consent so they can't have excuses. The reason they can often get around stuff is we don't even let them know what's coming. We have to tell them up front, these are the consequences. And when you do what you're supposed to do, these are the rewards. He's supposed to get a consequence every time he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. And then he gets a reward whenever he does what he is supposed to do. But rewards, my queen, only come when they are earned, which means he doesn't get rewarded every day. What grade is he in again?
He's an 8th.
Yeah, he's an 8th. So he shouldn't be getting no, really, his rewards could go a marking period. They could go a month, probably no less than 2 weeks. If you feel you got to put him on a weekly reward system, that's okay. But in the 8th grade, he should be mature enough where he can delay gratification and work a little bit harder for that reward. For an 8th grader, I would say a month should be good. So 30 days in a month, I'm looking for 20 good days out of 30, 25 good days out of 30. Never say 30 out of 30. No kids is perfect. If he was perfect, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So 20 out of 30 is what I want. You get me 20 good days out of 30, then, you know, at the end of the month, there'll be a certain reward in it for you. Not money, and never use expensive gifts. You know, it might be trips, something he want to do with the family, with his friends, something like that is okay. But stay away from money and stay away from expensive gifts. But when he messes up, the consequences are every time. So if he had a bad day at school today, there's a consequence today, tonight. You going to bed early. You ain't watching no football, none of that. You going to bed early. You're supposed to go hang out, not the day. The teacher called me, told me you had a poor day. So consequences are immediate. Consequences are immediate, but the rewards come on a schedule. The rewards come on a schedule. So nothing motivates like consequences. Nothing motivates like consequences. But you got to be consistent because mothers always struggle with being consistent. So you just got to be consistent.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'll definitely do that. I mean, because honestly, the behavior is not really an issue. I mean, he gets weekly progress report from schools, and from school, and all 7 teachers say he has excellent behavior. It's just the motivation. That's the issue. I mean, at home, he's a good kid. He does what I tell him. If he's playing video game, I said, go take your dishes out of the dishwasher, he'll jump right up, right away, and he'll do it.
Gotcha.
Whenever it's time to do work, it's like, I'm hungry. I don't feel good, you know, or it's an argument. And I'm like, you do this every time you have to do work. When we do math, you say you don't feel good. Are you hungry? Or, you know, it's always an excuse. I said, it's just an excuse for you.
Got you. Yeah. You're going to have to be that motivation. You're going to have to be that motivation.
I'm sorry. I keep hearing
No, go ahead. I need y'all to mute your phones. I'm hearing somebody on a motorcycle. Somebody's on. Hold on, Queen. Hold on. Whose background is that? Is that your background, sis? With all the noise, the motorcycle? Is that you? Okay.
It sounds like somebody fell asleep on the line. I don't think that's a motorcycle.
Oh, that's snoring?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody snoring, yeah.
Somebody is snoring on my call. Somebody is snoring.
Wow. Another person got disconnected. So sad.
Oh, Lord, that is sad. That right. Oh, goodness. Somebody is snoring on the... Y'all sure it's not a motorcycle? That's a human?
No, somebody is literally snoring on the phone.
Oh, God.
It's somebody snoring on the line.
Oh, wow.
There's somebody definitely snoring. I was just texting my cousin, like, did you hear? I'm listening to this young lady that was speaking. Whoever they're snoring, they're actually...
They snoring on the phone. Lord have mercy. You mean to tell me you couldn't hang that phone up before you laid it? Oh, God.
She was talking, getting towards the end of her comment, it started getting louder. I heard it towards the middle part, but as towards the end, it started getting louder. I was like,
oh, God. That's... Woo, we need some work. We need some work. Let me hang up and dial right back in and see if that does it. I'm going to hang up and dial right back. Let me see. They got somebody snoring on the call. Why would you go to... All you got to do is hang the phone up. If you sleep, I know people work late. You was listening. Okay, you feel yourself getting sleepy. Hang up the damn phone. You don't stay on a parent call, something this serious. helping our babies, and you're going to fall asleep snoring on the phone. You can't put the phone down. You can't move the phone away from your face. You can't just hit the button to hang up. Oh, God. Now, I'm going to keep it positive, because on the positive side, you could say that they loved the call so much and they were trying to stay awake because they just wanted to hear the good information and they just fell asleep. And sometimes you just got to take that L, because brothers and sisters is working hard in these streets to pay them bills. So I feel y'all. I feel y'all on that, but I'm not feeling it. I feel y'all, but I'm not feeling it.
Hello. Please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code. We will now connect you to your call. There are 19 attendees in this conference. The host has joined the conference.
Okay. Is he still on? Or is he...
I'm still laughing.
Yes, I'm still here.
No, is the snore, the snore, is he still there? He gone.
I don't get it.
No.
I kind of woke up now because I don't hear the snore.
Okay, he woke up. Somebody woke him up. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, my second question was, I actually spoke to you last month when you did the book, you were giving information, I forgot what it was called, but you were giving information out to high school students about college last month, and I spoke to you about my son, the ability to school.
Yes.
I don't know if you recall. Okay, I did email you the school policy. But the situation now is, I think I told you that I had the NAACP involved, and I had a former superintendent / former commissioner of education involved. And they seem to be dragging their feet. They both seem to be dragging their feet, and they seem to be more appeasing to the school. My son was being bullied. I went to the principal. The principal just kept dismissing me and my son, disregarding our complaints. I worked on the chain of command in the school district, going to the superintendent's office, then going to the county superintendent's office. Finally, I had to file a complaint with Office of Civil Rights. I filed 3 complaints with Office of Civil Rights. I filed 7 complaints with within the school, HIV complaint. Nothing still was done. The officer told me they couldn't intervene right away. It takes about 6 months to investigate. So they're still actually investigating. Meanwhile, my son's still being bullied by 13 students. 2 of the students, which are their parents, are board members. And I actually had to call the police up to the school, had the police come up to the school, sign a complaint against 4 of the students. I just went to court last month with one of the students that was found guilty. And despite what the board members, the school counselor, and the anti-bullying coordinator and the principal finding, and so then the principal started retaliating and started making false accusations about my son, giving him demerits and giving him punishments, detention. Now, my son's been in school from kindergarten all the way up to mid-7th grade. He's never, ever had a disciplinary record. In kindergarten, like I said before, I got a few calls about his behavior. But, from 1st grade on up, I've never got any calls, never got any letters home. I've never got any emails. I go up to the school quite frequently. I'm an active parent on the PTA every single year. Never, I come pick my son up or I drop him off to school, volunteer, no teacher pull me to the side and say, we're concerned about your son. So, like I said, from all the way up from kindergarten into mid-7th grade, he's never had disciplinary problem or disciplinary record. So once I started filing complaints against the school and against the principal, that's when the principal started retaliating and making false accusations. The last false accusation he made against my son actually made against me too. We had a meeting at the school with the anti-bullying specialist. We had an interview. And we were literally in her office for about 20 minutes. After leaving her office, I went back into the principal's office because I was asked to go back in his office. He accused me of wiping feces on the front office bathroom wall. So I said, I didn't wipe any feet. I said, I wouldn't do anything. That's not even something I would think of. And then he says, well, then your son did it. So then I said, my son, I know my son. He would not do anything like that. So then I started
son back and forth to school since he was being bullied. And these are the same 5 words that were never found before. So I turned back to the secretary and I said, call my son down. And then he goes, no, don't call my son down. So at that point, I wasn't going to argue with the principal. I felt like he was trying to entice me maybe to call the police on me himself. So I walked over to the clipboard. I didn't say anything to either one. I walked over to the clipboard and I saw my son. I told her, at that point, you have to release my son to me. So when the secretary saw me signing the clipboard, she immediately called my son down. He came down to the front office, and while we were waiting for him to come down, I said to the principal, who's your witness? Who saw? So the secretary goes, I saw. So she co-signs his lie. And so my son comes down. He asked my son, did you smear feces on wall? My son said no. And so then I started asking questions again. He said, if you don't believe, I'm going to call the police. I said, fine. I left. Me and my son left to school. I stood outside and I called the police. And I called it, and I told this guy, I said, I need an officer to come down to the school. I said, because the principal's trying to frame me and my son, and I said, I need him to come down and investigate. The police officer comes down to the school, takes a statement from me, goes to the school, speaks to the principal. I'm waiting outside the school. And then I asked the police officer, I said, well, was there any feces on the wall? And matter of fact, prior before he came to the school, prior before me and my son walked out of the school, I went into the bathroom as the principal walked out of the office to go into the hallway. I went to the bathroom and took a video of the bathroom. The bathroom was spotless. The same way me and my son both wanted to use it was spotless. There wasn't even no wet substance on the wall to indicate that somebody cleaned the wall off. So getting back to us being back outside, so then after the police officer, he goes back inside, and the police officer goes, well, there was a little bit of a loss. I knew the police officer was lying for him, because just before the police came, he told me to clean the wall. So if you're the officer and you're saying you saw a little bit of feces on the wall, then and the principal said it's clean, he cleaned it before he even called the police. That doesn't make any sense. And the officer told me he saw it. So then I knew the officer was lying. Now, mind you, the officer, the school's office, the superintendent's office, and the school, they're all in close proximity together. You have the mayor that's on the board. Everybody's intermingled with everybody. And so, like I said, I reached out to the NAACP, which they didn't come back right away. It seems like they're not as active as they used to be. And the NAACP came into the school. I thought even though they came into the school, I thought they were kind of passive. They didn't really say anything. I was doing want to talk, and I'm sitting here with about 6 school officials. The school board's a lawyer into this big meeting that we had. The principal, the superintendent, the 504 officer was there, the anti-bullying specialist, and the school attorney. Then I had 4 NAACP members. None of them said one word. None of the NAACP said not one word to advocate for me and my son. The former retired commissioner sat there. He said a few words, but he barely said it. He felt like he kind of played neutral. He kind of felt like, to me, he felt like he was trying to appease the school. So I really felt like I really was in a meeting all by myself. Then this morning, I get a call from the former commissioner saying to me, because one of the things I had asked him to help me do was to expunge my son's school records, and I pointed out to him that my son never ever had a disciplinary record before I started on the plane. And I said, he's been in school now for almost 2 months. He gets a progress report weekly from all the teachers, all 7, and they all check on the excellent behavior on his progress report. And I said, I want this his disciplinary record expunged because I don't want to follow him, and I don't want a negative stigma attached to him, and I don't want anyone prejudging him based upon his school records. So the former commissioner said he'll work with the school to see if he can get that. He had a meeting last week with them. They told him the superintendent told him to look into my son's display record and see what he can and what he can't remove from his display record. And then this morning I get a call from him saying, well, would you be willing to drop the author of civil rights complaints? I said, what? Excuse me? And I said, no, absolutely not. Now, after everything my son did, absolutely not. And he said, well, I'm trying to start off in a clean slate, and, I'm trying to work with the school and work with you, and, and I'm trying to get the superintendent to remove certain things from this and from. I said, so is that what they're asking, or for me to drop? If I drop all 3 of my officer civil rights, then no expunge his record. No, that's not what they're saying, but I just call that.
I got you. Shoot me a text, because we're probably gonna have to talk offline. Shoot me a text message tomorrow, and let's have a conversation tomorrow.
Okay. What time tomorrow?
I'm flexible anytime. Give me, I'm gonna say give me at least like an hour or two heads up. So if you're free at 12, text me at 10 just to remind me to be free.
As a line, okay.
You got me? Okay, Queen. All right, I'll look for that call.
Okay, I got you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Where you calling from, sister?
Yes, I'm calling out of Georgia, Lawrenceville, Georgia. I have two quick questions, but I have to get off the line in like 7 minutes.
Sure.
I've been reading the post of one of the flyers you had, the special ed programs, the prison, the pipelines, and I was like, oh my God, because my son is in special ed. So I'm kind of concerned as to is that something that kids that are in special ed are being targeted to be in the prison system?
A black boy in special education who spends at least, oh gosh. Okay, what's going on there? Mute the phones, family, mute the phones. A black boy who spends at least 50% of his instructional time in special ed away from the regular ed students is 75% more likely than other black boys to end up in jail.
He's in special ed, but he's in regular classroom.
Well, special ed is a program, not necessarily a place. So you can have an IEP and still be in the regular class. So in your son's case,
Yes, he has an IEP, but he's in
yes,
the regular classroom.
I got you. In your son's case, you know, I am glad to hear that he's still in the regular class. And one thing that you're probably going to have to think about, see, here's my issue with having an IEP and not needing to leave the class. First of all, I'm glad that a child doesn't have to leave the regular class. That's where they belong. But what parents need to consider, if your child has a disability but does not need help outside the regular class, are we sure he actually has a disability? Just something to think about long term. Just something to think about long term. You know, but because he's in a regular class, he would not be included in that statistic that I just mentioned. So that's a good thing.
Okay, well that's what I was concerned about, because he has almost something like Asperger, where he doesn't do really good with peers. He can interact with adults all day long, but peers he's always had a struggle with, and it's always been my concern to have him to be around regular kids, to still interact socially, and hopefully as he gets older, he can each year get better and better with interacting with, children of his own age.
I feel you.
He doesn't do well academically, period. I think it's something hereditary, because my father had the same issue when he was going to school. He didn't get past 3rd grade. I just want him to be able to just socially get along with people, get along with peers. Each year he seems to do a little bit better than the last year, but when I saw that, I thought, oh my God, my son's in special ed. This is a program that's set up to, to target, young boys. I don't know. So let me stay on the line of conference and just question that real quick. And another thing, he's going into high school next year, so I was real concerned. Is it best for me to maybe pull him out, to maybe just homeschool him?
What grade is he in?
He's in the 8th grade, but next year he'll be going into high school. And he had a rough year this year, kind of adjusting. So I was kind of wondering, maybe for high school, because high school is a whole nother something else going on for kids that have, social issues and emotional issues. Is it best then for me to maybe just homeschool him?
Okay, but you said he has some adjustment issues. What adjustment issues did he need? Because he's going to a new school, so I think we should give that a chance. But go ahead.
Okay, well, I was, this year is his hardest year, the first 2 months of school, of adjusting with the kids. And so I know how high school can be,
But when you say
Like,
adjusting, what do you mean? What do you mean adjusting? Because he's in 8th grade. So when you say adjusting to the kids, where is he having his issue at as an 8th grader adjusting?
Well, the first couple of weeks, it was a little bit of like the young lady said, with bullying. And the school has been real good about adjusting what they needed. So they moved him into other classes where the boys were not bullying him. He was no longer in the class. So we don't have that issue anymore. And I think that's what the issue was. I was thinking, well, when we get to high school, you know, stuff like that is on a whole nother level. I don't even know if he's emotionally or psychologically capable of handling high school pressure. He is on methamphetamine every day, and he doesn't take it on the weekend or the summers, but he is on it from Monday through Friday for school. And so I was just wondering, because I don't like him taking that medicine either. So just wondering, is it the best thing just to even just pull him out of the school system altogether?
Well, he's starting a new school, and I think we need to give that a chance. Now, he just started 9th grade this year, or he'll be starting 9th grade next year?
No, he'll be starting 9th grade next year, and that'll be in a new school, new high school.
Okay, I mean, I don't like the idea of a kid that age being homeschooled necessarily if you hadn't already been doing it. Homeschool for high school, it's doable. Parents do it all the time. They do it successfully, but you have to be able to homeschool them at a high school level, you know, with high school science and all, you know, so, you know, homeschooling high school students takes a lot more than homeschooling K-8. So you got to make sure you have that in your repertoire, or that you have, you know, retired teachers and other professionals who can come and assist you with that, because that's not easy homeschooling a high schooler. The other question is he comfortable being at home? Because a lot of high school kids want to be at school, you know. And then the other thing, too, if he does want to be at home, then I'm a little concerned about why, because at high school you should be wanting to get out and get, you know, interact, you know. Then I start questioning self-esteem and social alienation, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right, well, he has all of those issues. That's why it's been very important for me to always advocate for him to be in the class with regular children.
Right.
To try to almost force it on him to learn how to.
He needs a therapist. He needs a therapist. He needs a good.
He has therapists. He's been in counseling since 1st grade.
No, but it ain't working. Listen to me. He might have had a therapist since 1st grade. They're not working, because he shouldn't have needed no therapist since 1st grade. That's the whole point. He need an effective therapist, a behavior therapist, somebody who's going to work with him and build his confidence and help him get more comfortable interacting with other children, because he's going to be grown soon and you're not going to be able to hold his hand. And one of the biggest concerns I always have with the autistic kids on the autistic spectrum, sounds like he is a little bit, you know, parents can baby them too much. We got to remember, we're not always going to be around. You know, we're not always going to be around. Homeschool ain't going to be an option for your whole life. So, you know, hiding him from it ain't serving us. You know, he needs a very good behavioral a good therapist. You know, explore those fears, those conditions, work with you to make sure you're not enabling too much. You know, you need a real good therapist. Where are you based at?
I live in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'll be in Atlanta
And
December 28th.
I saw on the app that you'll be here December
28th, yes.
in Atlanta.
Yes, Shrine of the Black Madonna.
I was trying to find it on Eventbrite, but I couldn't.
I got to put it up. It ain't up yet. It'll be up by Friday. It'll be up by Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something else. In my experience, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm a school psychologist. In my experience, giving autistic children ADHD medicines doesn't interact well. And the reason it appears to me that it doesn't interact well is because if you're already autistic and somebody's giving you medicine that's going to rev you up or slow you down, you already have a cognitive deficiency with autism. You don't need medication on top of that, adding to that deficiency.
He's been diagnosed ADHD, social peer interaction, some type of disorder. He has not been diagnosed autistic. He weighs things autistic, but he's had 2 different psychiatric evaluations, and he's just. And I think it's like I said. I think it's more so hereditary because his grandfather was that way. He's very isolated, didn't socialize, didn't do well in school with the peers. But when he got as a grown man, he never read. He never learn how to drive, but he always had 2 jobs. He worked at a police station and then a janitor at a school, so he did know how to just go do his job and then come home. And so I think my son, kind of had somewhat of what he had.
I got you.
I don't know. I wish
I got you. The answer is, okay. It sounds like he's on that spectrum. It might be mild, but it sounds like on the spectrum. He don't need the diagnosis. No. He just has some of the characteristics that are going to affect him, throughout life. You need a good therapist. To me, I think he's delayed for where he should be right now as a child with social anxiety disorder, with potential autistic features.
Yeah, something, Dr. Umar? I try to cater to what he loves to do. He loves to cook. I mean, he can get in the kitchen, he can give him anything. So unfortunately, he can't really multiply and add, but he can get in the kitchen, and then Chef Gordon was in the kitchen. I just can't wrap my mind around how he can't do well with children in school, but he can get in the kitchen and cook like a grown man, and he's only 13.
Got you.
So I've just been trying to implement some things to...
I got you. He need the therapist. He need
to want to cook him to be able to have a job where he can go to a place and cook or something like that. Just be regular, normal, the best he can.
2 things. 1, he need a therapist to work with him on his social anxiety. You said that, but he needed. Okay, it don't sound like he got a good one because he should be further along than where he's at. So you're going to have to determine if you have the best person, because his social anxiety at his age is more appropriate for a 5th or 6th grader. He should be a little bit more independent than what he is as an 8th grader. Okay. Now, unless he was intellectually deficient, okay, and autistic. So if you said my son is retarded and he's all, got social anxiety, I say, okay, but he's not. He doesn't have an intellectual deficiency. He should be further. He should have a little bit more independence, even with the social anxiety and the autistic features. So you got to get another therapist or find out what this therapist is doing. What's the treatment plan? Every therapist has a treatment plan. You need to look at your son's treatment plan and see what they're working on, because he should be further along. This is too vegetative for me. I don't like it. And then the other thing, you have to start working with your son vocationally, which is to say, what does he want to do with the rest of his life? Because if he does want to be a chef, great. We can start putting him in programs right now for that chefing. Because he's going to struggle with the social anxiety piece, we really have to customize his education and his social programming beyond school hours. So we got to find out what are the 2-3 things he's most interested in. Computers, chefing, whatever it is, and it's probably all, professions that allow you to work independently, as chefing does, computer does, that type of stuff, and start getting him in programs tailored to that. So in other words, one of the motivations for him getting out to meet new children is so actually be getting out to actually engage in the type of work he wants to do. So that will be the motivation to expose himself to the risk of meeting new people, because I do have to get exposed to this risk, but at the same time, I'm doing what I want to do, which is cooking. So we got to start curtailing, customizing his social and academic agenda based on what his interests are. That's going to be the way to get him out of this shell. You still there? Did I lose him? No problem. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yes, thank you so much. I heard everything. Thank you so much.
No problem, Queen. Keep me posted. If you got to call back, please do.
Okay, thank you.
All right now. No problem. Is there another question on the call?
Yes, there is.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Louisiana.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a son. He's 8 years old. He's in the 3rd grade. And first of all, Louisiana school system is like the worst ever. He's having, I think they're trying to push him toward special ed.
Okay.
Or they're trying to push him toward the ADHD medicine. Every single day they're calling me for something. I have to constantly leave work. They're able to paddle them in the school system over here. So that's their issue. They want paddle them every day. They're asking me to sign the paperwork for him to be paddled. So I asked them what is the issue. What is the
I would not be signing any paperwork for them to paddle my child. I would not be signing any. I would not let no white kids paddle no black child in the 21st century. Is it legal? Yes. Half the states in America still allow paddling. I wouldn't allow it.
I'm not allowing them. I think that's what they're upset about, is because I'm not letting them paddle him. So they feel every single thing he does, they're calling me for it.
Does he have a diagnosis of any kind?
No, sir. No, sir. No type of. I think they're trying to get to that.
What grade is he in? What grade is he in? What grade?
Third grade.
Third grade. I don't know if you heard me earlier tell a parent that they need to have a professional go into the classroom and observe. A social worker or a counselor or a psychologist or a behavior specialist. You're going to have to find somebody black who you can trust in the mental health and behavioral health field. Again, it could be a counselor, social worker, psychologist. I could give you the phone number for the Association of Black Psychologists if you need a referral and you need to have them go into the school and observe your child. You simply write a letter to the principal. Based on the complaints I'm getting from my son's teacher, I've hired a professional to go into the classroom and observe him. So he's going to be coming in, or she's going to be coming in for a couple times to observe, to give me and the teacher some recommendations for how to work with my child. You cannot trust what they say. They want your son on drugs, and they want him in a special ed class.
Every time they tell me something, it's contradictory to something they already told me, and they don't like that I answer them back. Basically, I'm not gonna let. I told them I'm an advocate for my child. I'm not gonna let you basically get over on my child. You're here to educate them, and you're not doing that. And I don't think they like that. The school that he goes to used to be predominantly white, but they had to open it up to another school because that school closed down. So they had to mix the kids up, and ever since then, it's getting worse and worse. We have nothing to go to. We have nothing in the parish here. We have nothing to go to. Like, the school system is like really, really bad.
I follow you. As I said, you're going to have to get somebody to go in there to observe. They're going to be able to help you neutralize this, because they'll be able to tell you whether it's nonsense, whether they're exaggerating, or if it is correct, they'll be able to give you some recommendations for working with your child, and they'll be able to give the teacher some recommendations for working with your child as well. That's how you're going to stop this. You got to get somebody in there to observe. Otherwise, they're going to keep coming at you with this. You have to find someone. I would go online. I would Google. Okay, I also have the number for the Association of Black Psychologists. If you want me to give it to you, you can call them. But you got to get someone. It won't be very expensive. Shouldn't cost you more than $200. They only need to observe your son 3 times, 3 different weeks, 3 different days for 1 hour. We're looking at 3 hours total. Week 1 for 1 hour, Monday morning. Week 2 for 1 hour, Wednesday midday. Week 3 for 1 hour, Friday afternoon. Very important.
Yeah, because it's getting ridiculous. Like, I have no support if I go to the school. The principal, they have a white principal this year, and his teacher is white, and they stick together. The teacher, I was told by another teacher that his teacher came up to her and said, "We need one more signature to get him out of here."
Yeah. You might also have to write to the superintendent.
She called me and told me that they're trying to get him out of the school. They're basically trying to expel him from school, a 3rd grader.
Okay. What I want you to do.
She said that's why they keep calling you.
Okay. What I want you to do before I let you go, I'm going to give you my number, and I want you to text me. There's someone down there in the National Independent Black Parent Association who I'm going to have work with you. We have a chapter in Mississippi that's not Louisiana, but it's close enough. She will work with you to help you through this. Do you have my cell number?
No, sir. What is it?
215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Text me and remind me you're the parent from Mississippi, and I will send it to her, and she'll get in contact with you.
Okay, and I have another. from Louisiana anytime soon?
New Orleans, and or Lafayette is on my list of dues. I don't
I'm 30
listen.
miles from Lafayette.
Okay, so you're closer to Lafayette. So Lafayette,
I actually work in Lafayette.
got you. Lafayette and New Orleans, they're on the list. I'll probably do them in February, Black History Month.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you, sis. And hang in there. Make sure you send me that text.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Brothers and sisters, we're going to go until 12, and then we're going to cut because checkout time is 12. We started at 6, so that'll be 6 hours. I don't know if that's will be my longest Black Parent Teleconference because we've done some long ones. I think we might have done a 7 or 8. I don't know. Maybe today's may have been the longest ever at 6. But something tells me we've done 7 or 8 hours before, I think. So it might be the third longest if it's not the longest. But we got to cut at 12 because I have to check out. So we got 30 more minutes. Before I go to the next question, I just want to remind everyone that I'll be speaking in Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey on Sunday, this Sunday, October the 15th. Dr. Umar will be in Trenton, New Jersey. Next Thursday, October the 19th, Dr. Umar will be in Hamden, Connecticut. Thursday, October the 19th, Hamden, Connecticut. Saturday, October the 21st, Columbus, Ohio. Saturday, October the 21st, Columbus, Ohio. Nashville, Tennessee, Friday, November 10th. Nashville, Tennessee, Friday, November 10th. Nashville, Tennessee, Friday, November the 10th. Long Beach, California. The Black Consciousness Conference of Long Beach, California. Saturday, October the 18th. Atlanta, Georgia, December the 28th for Kwanzaa. Atlanta, Georgia, December the 28th for Kwanzaa. Houston, Texas, Saturday, December 30th for Kwanzaa. Houston, Texas, Saturday, December the 30th for Kwanzaa. Detroit, Michigan, New Year's Day, January 1st. Detroit, Michigan, New Year's Day, January 1st. Chicago, it looks like you'll be the first Saturday of January. I'm waiting for confirmation. Chicago's going to be January. Las Vegas is going to be January. I'm still looking for a venue in Las Vegas. Also, New Orleans. New Orleans might get put in Kwanzaa week. There's a chance that New Orleans might get put in Kwanzaa week. If not Kwanzaa week, then we're going to put New Orleans in January. But again, you can get tickets for all the events on Eventbrite. Trenton and California, you have to call or pay at the door because it's not my event. I'm just the keynote. All the other events are my events. You get the tickets on Eventbrite. Atlanta and Nashville. Atlanta and Nashville, I still need to put the event up on Eventbrite. It will be up there by the end of the week. Is there another question on the call? Okay, I think we... Okay, where you calling from?
Philly, Nashville.
Yes.
You said before give the number to the Black psychiatrist.
Yes, it is. The number is, let me pull it up here. (301) 449 3082. 301 449 3082. Now, because you're in Philly, I can give you the email for the Philadelphia chapter contact of the Black Psychologist. I don't have it on me, but I can get it, my brother. So if you shoot me a text, I'll find that for you and text that to you.
Okay.
Yes, Philadelphia chapter. Yeah.
South Carolina.
There's a chapter just about everywhere. Association of Black Psychologists, I think, has chapters in most states. But because I don't have contacts to everyone in the individual chapters, I normally just send everyone to South Carolina. But if you call that number, that's the national office. If you call that number, they will give you the South Carolina contact. You can also Google it, too. You can Google Association of Black Psychologists in South Carolina. They definitely have a chapter there, though. Definitely.
Okay, I appreciate that.
No problem.
And this is a, different kind of question. I want to, kind of wait to be the last one or whatever. Because it's an accountant, and he says that he's a relative of Frederick Douglass.
Uh-huh.
Do you think to him?
Well, you got to remember, our family, the Bailey family, is a very large family. Remember, my grandparents, my 6 times great grandparents, which would have been Frederick Douglass' first time great grandparents, Grandma Betsy and Grandpop Stephen, they had 12 children. And most of those children had 12 children. And, so you're talking about there's probably no less than, I don't know, 50, maybe even 100,000 people in the Bailey dynasty. You see, Frederick Douglass is one line. I'm from another line. All family, though. So I got relatives. I'll never meet everybody in my family, just like most of us will never meet, everybody in our entire extended family. So, But I just met a cousin. I just met a cousin of mine in Fort Lauderdale. But go ahead, my brother.
His first name is Akbar.
Yeah, I ain't gonna remember him. I gotta see the face.
He gives out good information for everybody. I don't know if he is cool or not. So I don't know if I should bang with him or not. I was going to ask you first.
Got you. Yeah, I gotta see the face. Because I ain't gonna remember the name. I meet too many people to remember the name.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, keep going, Doc.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Also, for my Philadelphia people, I'm looking for a place in Philly to do my next lecture too. So, a church or a community center. I mean, I'm from Philly. I'm in Philly, but I'm having trouble finding a spot. So, if y'all have,
The last place you was at on Fall Street.
I can't go back there. I can't go back there. I need another spot. Yeah. We need something else. Nah, we gotta find something else. Yeah. But okay. Good looking on that, my brother. Let me take this next call. Got you. Keep me posted. All right. Is there another question on the line? Think we might have got to everybody? No, go ahead.
I'm just the young lady from South Carolina again. I just want 2 questions. One, when did you say you'll be coming to Columbia again? When do you have a scheduled date? And 2, is Columbia, South Carolina still on your list of building a school? I remember.
No one has sent me any schools from Columbia, South Carolina. The only way a city can be considered the site of the first school, because we're going to build them everywhere, so we're just talking about the first one, I need people from that city to send me leads. So if you see schools for sale in Columbia, with a number, I encourage you to take a picture and send it to me so I can visit it. That's the only way I get my leads, because the brothers and sisters across the country have been doing a better job sending me schools than the realtors. They sent me much better schools than the realtors are sending me. So I commend everybody for helping me out. All the schools I'm looking at now, they were sent to me by brothers and sisters who were just texting me leads. So, if you see something, let me know. And for me coming to Columbia.
Well, I didn't know that. This is the first time I've been on a conference with you. I basically watched your YouTube, some of your YouTube lectures. So I definitely will. I just recall, if I wasn't mistaken, you were looking into South Carolina. That's why
I'm wide open. I will look anywhere. So yes, if you see some schools, let me know. Okay. But for the lecture, that's going to be Black History Month. I'll be coming to Columbia, Black History Month. And if you text me your name and tell me that you're from Columbia, I will save you in my phone. So once that lecture is set, I will text you the flyer.
Okay, well, I did to text you. I'm the one that you gave me the information
for the parent association. Okay, you know what? Text me again because I had two. Text me again because I had two South Carolina parents text me this morning. So just shoot me again and say, let me know when you're coming to Columbia, so I'll know it's you. With your name, with your name.
That's fine. I sure will.
Will do, Queen.
Okay, that's not a problem.
All right now.
Okay.
Take
I
care.
appreciate it.
Thank you. No problem. Bye-bye. Is there another question on the call? All right. So I think we are done. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. As far as the black identity extremist situation goes, I read that article. I thought the timing was definitely interesting because right before I got the black identity extremist article indicating that the FBI is now going to start looking at the black consciousness community as a threat to the internal security of the United States, I knew they already were. They're just declaring it now, but they're just not starting their investigations of us. I've been under investigation for a while, but I thought it was very interesting because I'm currently being investigated right now by the Pennsylvania State Board. And I got that email like a day or two before I got the black identity extremism email. And that only came a couple days after one of the television news programs played a clip of an interview I did, radio interview, where they changed my words within my statement. The beginning of the statement was my words. The end of the statement was my words, but they used audio technology manipulation to change what I said out of my mouth. And what I said was black people have a right to defend their lives, even against police. They have a right to defend their life against anyone, including police. They took it and remixed the words and basically insinuated that I was telling black people to go out and harm police officers, which is not what I said. So when I looked at that false clip that was played, along with my current investigation, and the irony of my current investigation by the state board is they stated in the email that it was this call, the Tuesday morning Underground Railroad. They stated that it was this call that prompted the investigation. I said something on my Tuesday morning call that they considered to be illegal or unethical, which basically says what? That the Pennsylvania State Board is eavesdropping on this Tuesday morning call, and the FBI is also eavesdropping on this Tuesday morning call. So if you're talking about black identity extremism, which is interesting because I didn't know being proud to be black made you a criminal. I didn't know identifying with your culture made you an extremist. Okay, are Arabs extremists for identifying with their national origin? Okay, are Mexicans extreme for identifying with Mexico? But when African Americans identify with Africa, we're now terrorists. You know, so it's just a matter of time before they were going to try this nonsense on us. And of course, when you're talking about black identity extremism, whatever the hell that is, I'm probably the first person on their list, because unlike many people who talk in the conscious community, I actually do work. You know, I'm not just a talker, so I'm sure I'm probably at the top of their list because there's few people who do more work in the black conscious community, not interviews and radio shows, but work in the conscious community. There's very few who do more than I do, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to keep on working and struggling and pushing and keep our eyes on the prize. So on that note, brothers and sisters, thanks for tuning in. I need to run because I got a lot of work to do to get ready for Trenton, get ready for Connecticut, and get ready for Columbus and Nashville, Tennessee. So peace and black power, and we'll be back next week. If anybody needs the flyers, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Peace and black power.